Shut. Hey, hey. Hey now, how's it going? Alrighty, let's make sure we got everything popping here. That looks good. That looks good. I'm pretty sure that's good, and I'm pretty sure y'all can hear me. All right, then. Looks like we are good to go. Hi, how you doing? How you be? Top to the AB, and I hope you guys had a good day at work or a good day not being frozen. Hope everybody is doing well. My name is Anthony, the Open Forum. Everybody calls me well, Anthony or Top or the Open Forum or any of that. And I make videos about troubleshooting or helping people with technical issues, just about any technical issue that I can think of, as long as it's like related to tech. Maybe life, but I'm like not the best at that particular field, but generally more so tech related. And basically what we do is we kind of go through a lot of technical issues. If you have a technical issue, be sure to go ahead and let us know in the chat, and we will do our best to help you with whatever situations or issues that come across. And so without further ado, I think we can get started. Got a nice show today, got a little bit of everything going on here. I'm not sure what time we'll end, but we still have the same amount of groups we always do. So let's see what happens. Alrighty here. So this is nothing. We already talked about the Samsung S23 Ultra with the 200 megapixel widescreen lens. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good product. I mean, but you know, the last one looked like it was going to be a pretty good product too. So I don't really have a whole lot to say about these Samsung phones, man. I don't have anything to say about the iPhone phone either, or the new iPhone phone either, because it's like these new phones, man, they're only like incrementally better than the previous generation. And oh my God, don't even get me started on like the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro was, I'm not even sure if the new one was even worth the mention to be released. Like they should have just held on to that. Like I don't understand giving it M2, but it still doesn't turn into an actual Mac. Like it still doesn't have Mac OS. Now, if they want to do that and give it Mac OS, then that would make sense. But there's no point in putting in an M2 processor into an iPad Pro and then give it, you know, the iPad OS. Like I just don't see a point in that. So now, because I mean, like there's nothing wrong with the M1. The M1 is perfectly fine. And you know, if you're trying to go for the M2, I just don't see a point unless they made the screen size bigger or something. So yeah, these new incremental updates, I mean, Samsung is turning into Apple and Apple is turning into more apples. They're turning into orange. That's kind of how I feel about it. However, this was interesting. The Samsung Galaxy Book 3 first look, Samsung's Pro laptops are leveling up with a 16-inch AMOLED display, lots of ports, and seamless connectivity with other Galaxy devices. The Ultra defines premium laptops for Samsung. Okay, so that's kind of interesting that it can connect to other devices, probably in the same ways that, you know, Apple can. I'm guessing it can receive messages and things of that nature. Like Samsung's top Galaxy Ultra phones, the N Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra Tab, the Ultra laptop will have the best performance, a ton of features, and a killer display. But like the other Ultra devices, the Ultra laptop might be more computer than you need. Samsung also has the Galaxy Book 3 Pro and Pro 360, which are a notch below the Ultra in performance, but have a lot of features in common along with their own added extras. And let's see if they have anything else. There is also a 16-inch Galaxy Book 3 Pro 360 2-in-1, which is large for a 2-in-1, but since it comes with one of Samsung's excellent S Pens, you'll have a lot more room to draw or take notes. Plus, it'll make a nice digital whiteboard for meetings. And again, all the features like the high-res webcam, port assortment, so on and so forth. Basically, it's a laptop. Gotcha. But it also has the pen so you can write on it. But that's just the surface. But this one is obviously more of a like a Lenovo Yoga or something along those lines. But still, pretty decent product. So hey, and on top of that, you know, the nice OLED? Oh, AMOLED screen. So yeah, so a 16-inch AMOLED screen. So oh my God, the price. These components drive price considerably with the Core i7 and RTX 4050 configuration starting at $2,400 and the Core i9 and RTX 4070 pairing going for $3,000. Pricing and availability weren't announced in the UK or Australia, but the entry price converts. Oh my God, you get a lot of other great features. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk anymore. How are you gonna say a price like that and then want my opinion? Like, I was just thinking that you were talking about like a Chromebook kind of thing, but I'm guessing it's a full-blown laptop. So I'm guessing they're going all in. So it'd be kind of interesting how this product turns out. But yeah, $3,000 for the 4070. I mean, if you compare it to other laptops and you call it a laptop, then other laptops are probably going to be around that price too for the 4070. So, its price isn't, well, okay, it's high. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it's high. For that price, you can get a razor blade. For that price, you can get a nice razor blade. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That's steep, man. I didn't think it was gonna be that steep. I didn't see that when I looked at it. I was just like, oh yeah, Samsung Galaxy Book. That'd be a cool topic to talk about. I didn't see that price. That price is what we really need to be talking about. Good Lord. You get a lot of other great features. Like, I don't know, my head hurts. So it's hard for me to talk about the other features with a headache. Like that's a lot, man. That is a lot to put on somebody. But yeah, Samsung Galaxy Book Pro, or yeah, Galaxy Book 3. Let me make sure I say that properly. Okay, how do you think about this game will turn out? I really, really hope it lives up to the hype. It's got a lot to work towards, judging by Breath of the Wild, got Game of the Year. Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom? Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's going to be great because I don't think Nintendo has ever let us down once when it comes to a Zelda game. I can't remember a single Zelda game that wasn't on point. Like every last one of them, even those remakes they had on the Nintendo Switch, even those games were on point. So I've never seen a situation where they've done Zelda wrong. So I have no reason to like not worry about it. That's one of those games that you can trust that you can probably pre-order and it'll probably still be pretty good. Like there's no disappointment, or possible disappointment like, like The Last of Us, or I guess The Last of Us wasn't really a disappointment. It was more so just gut wrenching. That's a better way of explaining Last of Us 2. But Naughty Dog essentially. So you used to feel that way about Naughty Dog too, and then they kind of so now it's kind of iffy with Naughty Dog. But Naughty Dog used to be the exact same way, and so yeah, I definitely see myself purchasing this and pre-ordering it as soon as it becomes available. I think it's actually already available now. I haven't been looking on the Nintendo Switch because I haven't had a reason. Nobody's asked me a Nintendo Switch question except for like once in like 3 months. So hey, my gaming laptop, utilization is at 10%, clock speed is at 400 megahertz, power consumption is at 1 watt, current temperature 429,447. This is exactly what the temperature was when they were showing the laptop capability on the 4080 and 4090 mobile laptops, and it was like, oh yeah, look at this frame rate. Yeah, but your temperature is 90 degrees. Like, what is wrong with you? Get that thing some air. And I bet that thing was probably under the most pristine amount of cooling ever, and it still did that. And that was crazy. Like, I mean, I'm glad that it can hit like a 3080, 3090 and still be portable, but at the same time, a 3080 to 3090 can be portable too. It's a kind of a toss-up between those two. I get that a laptop is, can go into a backpack, but now they kind of can't. So, depending on how big it is, it may not be able to go on a laptop anyway. So it may be in your better interest to go with a desktop in certain situations, depending on how you want to build it. And that temperature is one of the main reasons. That's literally the biggest limiting factor of why laptops can't succeed. Or, well, they can succeed, but they can't succeed without turning into a flamethrower. That I can't even think of anything funny. I say that, then I thought of something funny. That laptop is the temperature of the sun. LOL. There we go. That's what I was thinking of in my head that I laughed too quietly. That is extremely hot. That is extremely, extremely hot. I'm not even sure if that's real, but it probably is. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one. See, these builds like this, these beautiful builds like this, that's like all white, it kind of makes me want to create my own build or just create another build. I don't know, like throughout my history of making videos and all that kind of stuff, I've never actually built a computer for aesthetics. I've always built a computer for the purpose of building a computer for whatever I need it for. I never built it to like make it the prettiest thing in the world. Okay, I had one time I've done that, but that was only with like mining rigs. But outside of that, I've never really tried to make it just as beautiful as humanly possible. So I think I want to like just get like a desktop or like a bigger chassis that can handle the Gigabyte 4090 and be able to use that and make that as pretty as humanly possible. and just have like a nice looking computer that I can actually like film behind and stuff like that. But I don't even know if I could, because I don't have a place to put it, because my desk is like full of stuff. I got like consoles and everything hooked up. But I would love to do something like this, or do a build like this one of these days. Actually, you know what? These cables, I've seen these all over the place. I have to get some, because these are some of the coolest cables I've ever seen. Asia horse is what that said. But dope build, bro. I mean, that all white, Snow White, Snow White PC. LOL. Yeah, that's pretty sick, man. Congratulations. That's a nice build. And what kind of, okay, so yeah, that's a 7900 XTX is what that is. Wow, that's actually pretty big. Oh, no, it's not that it's big. It's that it has a little brace on it to protect it from leaning. So that's why it looks like that. Okay. Still pretty dope build. Congratulations. I wonder what case is that? What case is that? Lian Li ST1. No, those are the fans. What case is that? Oh, Lian Li got, no, that's a GPU. That's a CPU cooler. Man, this man really likes Lian Li. Cable, okay, it's the NZXT H7 Flow. Okay, there we go. NZXT H7 Flow. What is the specs of this guy? Oh my goodness. Why do you want to take up all my time? I can't see. Okay, there we go. Where are the tech specs? I need to see this. Tech specs. Can it fit? Where is it? Dimensions, fan support, radiator support, compatibility clearance. Okay, max GPU is 400 millimeters. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I definitely can fit it. I can fit any graphics card ever created by mankind. Okay, all right then. All right, H7 Flow. I see you. That's kind of an interesting build. I may do something like that. But my graphics card is already black, and I don't want to spray paint it because I'm afraid of injuring it. That's scary. But still, dope build. Congratulations. Okay. On a budget and buying a used microphone, which would you pick and why? Both are the same price. Well, I've never actually tried the HyperX, so it would be impolite of me to say, but I've definitely tried the Yeti, and I like the Yeti. So I'll just go with that. Never tried the HyperX, but the Yetis are great. The Yetis are a great start mic. Like if you get somebody gives you a Yeti, or you go purchase a Yeti, they're great starter mics. Plus this thing is like pure metal. Like the Yeti Pro is, well, this one isn't, but the Yeti Pro is like straight metal, and it's hard to break. That thing can fall a million times and it wouldn't break. Like the Yeti Pro is pretty dope. And it's very, very, very sturdy. But the HyperX, I've heard about it, but I've never actually made a video on it, I don't think. No, I haven't made a video on it. So yeah, I think that they're probably going to sound pretty similar. The Yeti actually sounded pretty good for a very long time. The only reason why I replaced it is because I got the Shure. But outside of that, the Yeti is probably one of the best starter microphones you can get. Okay, let's get to helping people. So let's close all this out. So just so we can see a little bit better. Okay, let's do this. These are just notifications. Okay. Alrighty. So you guys like external parts, right? Oh, wow. That is, I guess it can't fit in the case, so you just kind of put it outside. But if you check, it's actually going into a PCIe slot. So basically, it has an extender and has it basically screwed onto the outside of the case. Wow, that is, wow, that looks like a hazard. Wow, that hurts my eyes. My eyes hurt. But I guess congrats. I don't know what to tell you on that. I mean, it's kind of an interesting build, because these sharp builds like this guy here, that's super sharp and will cut you up and turn you into a bloody mess. Like, people don't make these anymore. And for you to actually have that graphics card and that build is very interesting. It's very rare. And that's all I got to say about it, is that it's rare. Alrighty, so this is PlayStation issue. Oh, that's right. So this one here we were talking about, and it's basically the DualSense not turning on. The light flashes orange once and back off, and the PS button does nothing. Already tried resetting what now, looked all around on how to fix this. And so yeah, we talked about this, and we were saying, let's see here, to basically plug it into a computer to see exactly what the computer will show. because whenever you plug a PlayStation 5 controller into a computer, it turns orange and stays that way, like it hooks up directly. And generally, whenever you do that, it can mess with some of the Bluetooth settings. So that's the reason why I was having them test. I wanted to see if it actually worked. I plugged it into my PS5, not a PC though. Unsure what that would do. I tried the reset button, and unfortunately, it didn't work. If you're talking about the PS5 console, it works fine from what I can tell. Let's try the reset button. DualSense not turning on. The light flashes orange once and back off, and the PS button does nothing. Already tried resetting. What now? Okay, well, I was having you plug it into a PC as I wanted to determine if the computer saw it. Not a PC, unsure what to do. I tried the reset button, unfortunately it didn't work. If you're talking about the PS5 console, it works fine from what I can tell. Well, I was having you plug it into the PC as I wanted to determine if the computer saw it. Does the PC see it? Does the PC see the controller when plugged in directly? Did I tell him to press the reset button on the back? It works. I tried the reset button. Unfortunately, it did not work. Okay. If he said he already tried the updates, I believe, didn't he? Also, what happens if you hold the PS5 button down? Does the PC see the controller when plugged in directly? If the controller is seen by, well, okay, if the controller is seen by the PS5 and works wired, just not wireless, I would check to see if there is an update for the controller itself. Outside of that, it would appear the Bluetooth capabilities of the controller may be shot. Rip off the band-aid. It's not a whole lot you can do, man. After you press that reset button, that's pretty much your only option when it comes to troubleshooting that controller. Yeah, you can try to install the actual, see if there's any updates for the controller itself on the PlayStation. You can also try to reset, and during the reset, it actually will install the updates for the controller, but that's a bit much. And especially for this issue, because your PlayStation 5 is fine. So, and on top of that, I believe you said that your PlayStation 5 worked when you had it plugged in. So I think that your controller just lost its Bluetooth connectivity, and that's just kind of the end of it. But Pi Rotten, that's pretty much what I think, man. I hope that helps. Okay, so this was the Kraken V3. So the Razer Kraken V3, let me pull this up so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Razer Kraken V3, open link, a new tab. Really, Anthony, really? There we go. So it's basically these headsets, but they're wired. And he said, that's the post, brand new. Every time I turn off my PC, next time up, they don't play any sound. I have to disconnect them and connect them back again. It sounds like your PC may be having a bit of difficulty connecting up to the device. What we can try is to go to Start Device Manager. Then when that pulls up, go to your Bluetooth device, then Power Management, and turn off where it says turn off device to save power. Make sure that guy is off and see if that makes a difference. It's not Bluetooth. I did that for USB port and it didn't work. Oh, I said my apologies. And that was lazy troubleshooting. So for this one, since it's wired only, you can try you can try to plug it into a different USB port. Particularly one in the front of the case. Also, be sure to check the sound settings when the issue occurs to see if the audio has not been overtaken by another device, as it can lose its precedence if another device is set as default. I've tried every port on the motherboard and case. The device is always detecting and always shows up on the device manager with this description on the event log. Device settings not migrated from previous operating system installation due to partial ambiguous data match or ambiguous device match. Audio has never been overtaken by other devices. This one is set as the default. Device settings not migrated from previous OS installation. What? Never heard of that one. If you had to do a partial or ambiguous match. Okay, so that timestamp looks like it's a timestamp that comes from device manager itself. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, it sounds like you may have a driver issue. Okay. Okay. So it sounds like you may have a driver issue. Have I already asked them to reinstall the drivers? Okay, before I say that, let me actually check. Razer Kraken V3 driver. I didn't mean to actually go to their support page. Oh, it's in Synapse. Okay. So we'll go with that. Okay, so it sounds like you may have a driver issue. Quick question. Does it show up in Synapse? Has it shown up in Synapse before? Shown up in Synapse before. Because the website is saying that it's a part of Synapse. So if that's the case, then maybe it has some options that you can change in Synapse, or Synapse may need to update in order for it to see it properly. Let me get something to drink here. So yeah, I think it's a possibility that this issue may just be straight up with Razer Synapse. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and go to the next one here. We close that one out. Close that one out. And okay, we already looked at that. And we already looked at that. Okay, so this one is my Xbox freezes constantly. It started with Destiny, where I would freeze and crash every other mission. Now I crash in Elden Ring, Warframe, just freezing, and Phoenix. I don't think I have a warranty as I bought my Xbox from a scalper since my old one broke. And I said, okay, so by chance, where is your Xbox located? Is it in a table or is it able to pull in fresh air? Also check the top of the device to make sure there is not a dust buildup up there. My Xbox is behind with my TV with nothing obstructing the top. Although I have been worried it's claustrophobic back there as it's also next to a wall. I did not see any dust buildup, but I will take a light and look more thoroughly. I just checked and there does not seem to be any dust buildup. My Xbox is still cool to the touch and I just froze again. Wow. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't sound good, bro. Unfortunately, it sounds like it may be a faulty processor. Possibly a faulty drive. What do you have? You have a thumb drive or external drive around that you can download a game to and test with. Or also, do you have any games on CD? Even though CD does tend to download a bit, but it would be kind of interesting to see if the game on CD does work. If so, does it freeze? All right, so yeah, technically it just sounds like his CPU, his processor is on its way out the door, but you know, we can try the drive just in case, because that would be an easier fix than just, you know, you can't do anything because it's not under RMA. So, well, unfortunately, it sounds like it may be a faulty processor, possibly a faulty drive. Do you have a thumb drive or external drive around that you can download a game to and test with? Also, do you have any games on CD? If so, does it freeze? Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing that we can really say for that one here. It looks like this one here is going to be the victim of a CPU issue. Because it actually boots, though, he may actually be able to take it to like a GameStop or something, but that's pretty much all I can say for it. See, in fact, it freezes. It depends on how consistently it freezes. But they test it pretty thoroughly, so I doubt they'll give him anything. But yeah, it's on its way out the door, bro. I'm so sorry about that. Not a whole lot we can do here. I was gonna say wipe the drive, but then I thought about it like what do you really gain from that if the games are freezing on the CPU? Like it's freezing, you know. So if there was a drive issue, um well, okay, if it was a drive issue, it's a possibility that can cause freezing, but the fact that it's kind of going in and out, if we wipe it, that doesn't actually help the drive, it just clears it out. So you know, so if it's full, it shouldn't actually stop a game from actually playing itself because it won't get, you know, 100%. So it's kind of an interesting one, but it seems more likely to be CPU than drive. And that's what I will say about that one. All righty, group 2, let's get started here. Oh man, that is strong. Okay, group 2. Why do I keep going back to that? Okay, group 2. Can I download a game trial to a USB on my computer? We already talked about this. I think I said no. Thanks, my dude. Is there a difference in game load times between PS4 and PS4 Pro? I said slightly, but not likely when it comes to load times, as I believe they both use hard drives. So you may be better off buying an SSD than upgrading to a PS4 Pro, or just going with a PS5 as it also has an NVMe SSD. I did finally get the trial downloaded. I left it overnight and it was a nice treat after work. 21 hours later. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. That SSD upgrade is looking really nice now. Nice about now. Yeah, he may need an SSD upgrade. It may save him the least amount or the most amount of money than going for like a PS5 if he can't afford it or something along those lines, or it's just like too expensive for him. Then he may be better off with an SSD, seeing in fact it's only like $50, and that would actually help him a great deal. So yeah, I would just go with that in his particular situation than going PS4 Pro. I don't see a reason in going up and upgrading to a dying product when you already have that product. If you already got it, just stick with it. There's no point in going for the PS4 Pro now. Now, if there was a new God of War, I get it. But there's not a new God of War right now. So, you know, outside of the one that, you know, everybody already beat and got every single award at the Game Awards. A shameless shipper. Oh, yeah, we were talking about this one. Can I download a game? Oh, we already talked about that guy. Why do I have it twice? That's so weird. Okay, we're going way too fast then if that's the case. Okay, so League of Legends lagging with low ping and no packet loss. Lag with low ping and zero packet loss. It only happens with League. I'll click back and forth and it'll stutter like crazy. If I last hit a minion, it'll be delayed. Oh yeah, so we talked about this. So we were talking about this network delay. Hi, are you on Wi-Fi? If so, what happens when you plug your computer directly into the router? Does that resolve the issue? And are there other people in your home with this issue? He said, I live in an apartment alone, so I can't really test it. My computer is already connected to Ethernet, and when I tried using Wi-Fi, it did the same thing, just with higher ping. Well, if that's the case, we would do a reboot of the router and replace the Ethernet cable you are using to see if that makes a difference. Also, is the latency you see apply to YouTube as well, as in does the video buffer a lot while watching? Nah, YouTube is fine. I can't actually restart my router because my apartment locks it behind a little panel, but I can unplug it and plug it back in. I'll try buying a new Ethernet cable and see if that makes a difference. So he's wired. Yeah, he may have to test his signal. He may have to get a signal tester on this one. So he has low ping, but and no packet loss, but it's lagging. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Sounds like it will be cable or router with this one. Hopefully it's cable, as it would be a pain trying to fix something that isn't yours. Fix something you can't touch. Hopefully it's cable as hopefully it's cable, as it would be a pain to try to fix something you can't touch. Yeah, that sucks. The only thing he can do is try a different cable and see if that works. If that doesn't work, you know, he doesn't really have a whole lot of options after that because he can't touch the router. But yeah, a reboot and replacing of the Ethernet cables is really the only thing you can. Ooh, I have a better idea. I have a better idea. Oh, also, you could try to use the internet of a neighbor temporarily to see if it's better. Well, they don't have access to it, and it's wired. Yeah, um, just let them know that you are testing the network in the unit. Someone will let you in. Someone will. No, don't say that. Don't say that. I'll be worried about them. Oh, also, you can try to use the internet of a neighbor temporarily to see if it's better. Just let them know what you are testing, that you are testing the network in the unit. If it's the same, we may be looking at an oversubscribed router. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like the router may be oversubscribed, and that's the reason why he's having this latency, because it's trying to do too much at once, because it may be an older router, because it's not his and it belongs to the actual complex, and they generally don't upgrade unless they absolutely have to. That's the reason why I say that. So we'll see exactly what happens with this, but that's what I would say for it. Okay, dry clothes. I remember him. Okay. Dry clothes writes. RTX 4080 about the same as the 3080 Ti. Anyone else got this problem? I recently upgraded my GPU from a 3080 Ti to a 4080 and did a full clean install of Windows for good measure with fresh drivers. Hold on one second. Let me just check something real quick. Just make sure everything is good. Let me check something really quick. Yeah, it looks like it's good. Okay. Okay. All right. Hopefully it's cable. Okay. All right. So YouTube is fine. Yeah, sounds like it'll be a cable. We already worked that one. Okay. I recently upgraded my GPU from a 3080 Ti to a 4080 and did a full clean install of Windows for good measure. Oh, this is a person who was basically comparing his 3080 Ti to his 4080. And whenever he was comparing his 3080 Ti to his 4080, he was noticing that his frame rate hadn't increased by much. When he was playing a particular game in 4K, I think he was getting around 80 to 90 on his 3080 Ti, but he was only getting like 100 to 120 on the 4080. And he was trying to figure out what was going on. So he said that a part of his issue, so he had two problems. He had an issue in game, and then he also had the issue that we just mentioned here with the actual frame rate. And then I said, that's awesome, bro. Glad you were able to get this resolved. This is actually the second time someone has mentioned changing the course to fix the issue, so we will take note of that for this in the future. Yeah, it's definitely an issue of the games not properly using threads. It makes me wonder how many people get this unissued, especially computer players who play on dog crap low settings and wonder why they can't hit good frames. Mostly because they're CPU bound and don't understand to put load on the GPU, which is way more powerful than the CPU by turning up the settings a bit. Also, 240 plus FPS in 4K is an incredible experience, especially on my 43-inch Aurorus monitor. Congrats, bro. Congrats, bro. Happy you got all the what is it? Eye candy. Eye candy. We shall enjoy our eye candy together. No, that sounds sounds iffy. We shall enjoy our eye candy at the maximum settings. There we go. Okay, we'll say that, even though it's corny. I just wanted to keep the conversation going. Okay, I'm glad he was able to get that all resolved. But apparently, with some of these guys that are having some issues with frame rate, one of the things they can try is to increasing the CPU utilization of the actual game itself, and that's going to be located in the settings of the game. But it kind of varies depending on which game we're talking about. So we just kind of took note of it so that if we run into another person with that issue, we'll be able to troubleshoot. Okay, dry clothes. We'll talk to you later, bro. Okay. Wow, man, we are burning through this. Okay. Here, let's do something real quick. Let me actually go. We may have to grab a few more because this is going way faster than it needs to. Normally it doesn't go that fast. Here, let me grab some tech stuff. Grab a little bit of everything and just add it to the back. Add it to the back. Whatever. I already got that one. Okay. Well, we'll just come back around whenever we get to the end. Okay. Controller desyncs. So pretty much every day I start up my Series X, I have to turn on the power on the console itself and resync the controller. I have two controllers connected to the console and they both do the same thing. And then I said, okay, well, what kind of batteries are you using in your Xbox? Is it a battery pack? Does this issue happen with new batteries? Also, what happens if you reboot the Xbox? Does the controllers lose connectivity then? He said he uses Energizer batteries in one, Duracell in another. Well, see, that's your problem. You got to stick with one or the other, man. Those two hate each other. Both controllers have gone through a battery change and still desynced. This happens just about every time the Xbox shuts down for an extended period of time. Oh, well, it desyncs, but it still syncs. So it looks like it may be having a Bluetooth issue. You can try to check for updates, but there's not a whole lot you can do with this Xbox, man. To fix a Bluetooth issue and connecting via Bluetooth. Oh, he didn't answer my question. I thought I had a question. I had a better question. The question was this. Well, what happens if you power cycle the device? Do the controllers lose signal then? What if you unplug it and plug it back in? Does the same thing occur? So what I'm trying to get at is I'm trying to figure out if maybe both of his controllers are having some type of a connectivity issue, or if it's just the Xbox. Unfortunately, because it's two controllers, it seems that it's a higher probability of it being the Xbox having a Bluetooth connectivity issue. But the only thing that you can really do for that is kind of like an update. Let me see if there is a reset feature. Well, there is a reset feature on the Xbox. It is really, Elgato. That's how you gonna do me? Okay, so it is system updates. No, that's system update. Was it? No, it's not power options. It is. I guess it is under console info. Yeah, console info, and then reset console. Okay, so reset console. Where was he at? Right here. No, it's right here. Does the same thing occur? What I am trying to get at is there is a slight possibility the controllers well, no. Oh, I know. Are there any no, I take it back. Does the same thing occur? Also, be sure to test this. Connect your Xbox? We're talking about Xboxes, right? Yeah. Connect your Xbox to your cell phone and see if it works or disconnects itself upon reboot. Well, okay. He said that whenever he lost power is when the issue occurred. But if he stays on, then it doesn't happen. So if we reboot the cell phone, well, that won't really prove anything, would it? Because he would have to remove the power from the cell phone for it to actually make a difference. But because it should just be able to connect up and reconnect up. But we'll go ahead and test it. Could you connect your Xbox to your cell phone and see if that works or disconnects itself upon reboot? If it allows you to connect to it upon reboot, then remove the controller from the phone and pair it back up with the Xbox to see if that made a difference. Essentially try to pair with a different device and then come back and try to pair with the Xbox. And let me see if I want to do that more than this. Well, what happens if you power cycle the device? Do the controllers lose signal then? Yes, I do want to know that, but that's about it. Also, be sure to test this. Connect your Xbox to your cell phone and see if that works. See if it works or disconnects itself upon reboot. If it allows you to connect to it upon reboot, then remove the controller from the phone and pair it back up to the Xbox to see if that made a difference. If not, you would have a Bluetooth adapter on the Xbox that's going out. Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do here. You can say wipe, but you know, that really doesn't really do anything when it comes to like Bluetooth. It only does something if it's like a drive issue or something along those lines, or it's a disk full issue. But for this particular problem here, this just seems like the Bluetooth on the Xbox is going out. That's the thing with these Xbox issues. I feel like they all just turn out to be hardware issues. Like some of them can be fixed, but most of them are just hardware issues. Like it's just game over for a lot of these. Okay, yeah. No. We talked about this. So this is another one with the Xbox freezes constantly. Like whenever you get these, it's pretty much game over. I just checked. There is not seen to be any dust buildup. My Xbox is still cool to the touch. It's just froze again. I thought I just replied to this. I feel like I did. It's internal, but my okay. No, I didn't. All right, so then we'll go ahead and just talk about it. Oh, he deleted his post. That's what happened. Okay. So my Xbox freezes constantly, and he was basically having this issue where his Xbox would freeze in game. And then I asked him some information, and then he said, I just checked, and there does not seem to be any dust buildup. My Xbox is still cool to the touch, and I just froze again. And I said, wow, well, unfortunately, it sounds like it may be a faulty processor, possibly a faulty drive. Do you have a thumb drive or external drive that you can download a game to and test with? Also, do you have any games on CD? If so, does it freeze? I forgot I made this post. I have determined it has been something internal, but my warranty expired and servicing is $300. So I'm going to just deal with it until I can afford to get a new one. Thank you for the advice you have given. Just I'm spending that much for servicing. I might as well just get a new one. LOL. Yup. Have a good one, bro. A good one, bro. Yeah, I hate these. Well, I don't hate them. It's just, man, I feel like every last one that we've done so far has just been straight up hardware, and it makes it a little bit difficult to work them because it just turns out to just be a physical issue. But there's a lot of people that ask these questions, so I might as well just keep on going, keep on trucking, I guess. Alrighty, so this is from Pitied Vale, and Pitied Vale writes, let me make sure I can hear me. Yeah, what's his Xbox on that? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I was in the wrong one. Okay, well, I guess I wasn't really in the wrong one because we were just kind of talking about that one in the Xbox. But anyway, I'm trying to install Red Dead Redemption 2 from disk. Oh, it's 90 gigs. It was going smooth and just stopped completely at 2.25 gigs. I'm on a Series X if it helps. Okay. Yeah. Cancel and re-download. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go all the way down and take his answer or anything. Cancel and re-download to see if it allows you to connect, to download properly. Also, if it's on Wi-Fi, try to get it set up through wired temporarily to see if that resolves the issue as well. Okay, maybe not all of them are bad. But yeah, so this one here is just a straight up cancel. There's nothing you can really do here. If it's just stuck at 2.25%, oh, it also can mean that your disk is full. Also, be sure to check and see if you have enough disk space. There we go. So that's what we'll say for that. Just make sure that you have enough disk space, because your disk could be full. That can cause it, or it can be a network connectivity issue, meaning that you may be on Wi-Fi and it's weak or something along those lines. Plus, it's 90 gigs, so I would say go ahead and hook up wired and just try to download it and see if that actually fixes the issue after you cancel this one. So that's what I would say. Pitied Vale, Pitied Vale. Keep us posted. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is from Hi Brad. Hi Brad says, built this wooden PC case. Oh yeah, we've been going back and forth about this. So yeah, this is his build. It's all wooden, and we thought it was awesome. And we said, "Oh my goodness, that's so cool! Congratulations! Oh my god!" And then he replied back, "Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy. Oh my god!" And then we were like, "Oh hey, can you tell us the thermals and everything because we don't think it's gonna be all that good." And he's like, "Oh, they're totally good, my friend, especially with a 360 millimeter radiator for the CPU." And they were like, "No, no, no, not the CPU. We were worried about the GPU. We were worried that it may get too hot." It was like, "Nah, fam, we got you. Everything is fine." And and then I was like, "So sweet. Just let me know when production starts. LOL." He said, "LMAO, one was enough. I'm tapping out of the case production." That hurts. That hurts. Well, I guess trees thank you. I don't know. Yeah, that's awful, bro. Like, why would you tease us? That's just all messed up. But that is a pretty dope build. I bet it's super heavy, but it's still pretty clean. Okay, Xbox Series X consecutive disconnects, service unavailable. So I'm a longtime Xbox fan, but unfortunately a little late to the next gen party. And we worked this yesterday, but very recently I had acquired the Xbox Series X, and then basically he had some issues with connectivity, and his NAT type going to service info is unavailable, meaning that it's unable to translate his IP address. I'm always hardwired, but I've tried wireless and it did the same thing, which means that we're looking at a router issue. This occurs every day, excuse me, and some days are more bearable than others, allowing me to play some games online without too much of a hitch. And sometimes the whole Xbox is borderline unplayable. For whatever reason, despite saying service info is unavailable, if I was downloading any games off the network, it'll have no issue continuing to download them. Is it ultimately worth returning? And I said, "Okay, nah, you don't have to return. This is actually our specialty." Okay, so with your modem router situation, could you explain it? Is this an all-in-one modem from your internet service provider, or is it a device you purchase? Who is your ISP? It is a modem router I received from my ISP, Bell Canada. I live in the area that literally only has one ISP available, unfortunately. Oh, I've heard about that. Heard about that. I think Linus mentioned it on a YouTube video somewhere. LOL. All right. So his ISP is Bell Canada, and it's an all-in-one. So let's see here. So basically, let's just go over his issue real quick. Whenever I'm playing a game online or offline, I will randomly get disconnected from Xbox Live anywhere from a few seconds to a couple of minutes, sometimes even forcing me to restart the Xbox to reconnect. When this issue occurs, it will say that my NAT type is open but service info is unavailable. I am always hardwired, but I've tried wireless and it did the same thing too. This occurs every day. And then he said things that he's done. He's tried a hard reset. He's done a router reset. He's done an Xbox factory reset. He's called Microsoft support, and they've been notoriously unsupportive. He's cleared his MAC address, which means that he knows a little bit about networking. Switch ports, every available one. Tested network connection, says it's all good. Tested multiplayer connection, says it's all good. And so it is a modem router from Bell Canada, and he still has the issue. Okay, cool. So with this one here, whether it's wireless or it's wired, you still have the issue. So this one here, do you have any internet issues with any of your other devices in home? Also, Bell Canada is I don't think they're cable. I think they're fiber. Let me see. Communications company, but it's a telecommunications company. Okay, okay. But that doesn't tell me anything. I thought they were not cable. They were a let me see. Shop support my Bell. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's a it's more of a I forgot the name of it. DSL. So with this here, so with this one here, do you have any internet issues with any of your other devices in home? Also, this may be grounds to contact them for support, as Wi-Fi and wired are both having this issue. So it points to the router or something further up the line. You can have them check the signal levels to the modem router to see, have them check the signal levels to the modem router to see if the values are bad. Yeah, with his situation here, he doesn't have anything interfering. He's tried Wi-Fi and he's tried wired and he still has the same issue, which means that he's going to have a problem with either the router, the tap, or anything from the tap to the router. So if that's the case, that's going to be his internet service provider's territory. So he can just give them a call and have them go ahead and run a few tests to the modem to see if there is some signal degradation. You can have them check the signal levels to the modem router to see if the values are bad. Now, that's what we call it. That's what it was called in the cable industry. I'm guessing the telephone industry has the exact same thing. So yeah, that's what I would say for this one here. Asinise. Let us know what happens with that. But yeah, I would just go ahead and call them at this point, because if you try wired and you try wireless, but you get the same problem, it's best to go ahead and call them unless you can actually make changes to the inside of the router without their permission, so that maybe you can make some changes or turn it off or turn different features off, so on and so forth. Also, I do want to know if it actually worked before. Did this work properly at some time before? At some time before this? Yeah, we also want to know if it did work at some point, because it's a possibility that this never worked. And if this never worked, then we're just kind of chasing dragons here. We may have to just go ahead and call them and let them take care of it. If this hasn't ever happened, or basically it's never worked. So if it's never worked, we can go ahead and contact them and see exactly what's going on. But if this has worked and then it stopped working, then we may have to look at what may have happened in that particular time frame. Maybe you've made some changes to your account that may have affected this issue, or something along those lines that may cause the problem. So Asinise, give us a contact next time and let us know what you think on what happened there. Okay, let's do it. Who's next? Are we on 4? I feel like we're on 4 or 3 or 4 or 3. Yeah, we'll go 4. We're on 4. All right, so group 4 at 8. That's pretty good. May finish a tad bit early here. Okay, so my Xbox constantly freezes. I feel like I already talked about this. I feel like I did. Okay, maybe we are gonna go. This is the thing about doing repeats. It's kind of look more thoroughly. Oh, he deleted it. Okay. Yep. Oh, okay, yeah. This is the same guy. Okay, I'm so sorry. This is the thing, like whenever you're trying to go through your account to see who's all replied back, all it does is just highlight it in blue and you click on it, but I don't like go and read it because I want my answers to be genuine. So you don't know until you actually get into it. PC black screen and shuts down completely multiple times a day, and there's nothing I can do to fix it. Okay, so this is something we're working on. Okay, for the past 6 months or so, I've had this issue, and it's become infuriating because there's nothing I can do to solve this issue. It started occurring a half a year ago, and it corrupted one of my Windows installs to a point where I had to reformat. PC blank screens and shuts down completely multiple times a day, and there's nothing I can do to fix it. So we want to just make sure you have replaced the CPU, PSU, motherboard, and RAM, correct? And also, when it crashes like that, can you go in the start event viewer and let us know what you see? He said, I've checked event viewer, all is event ID 41, kernel 41, which is the power fault. Yes, I have replaced the CPU, PSU, and motherboard, and the CPU is the i7-11700KF. I consider the power supply not being sufficient. However, the issue occurred before I had my video card and the new CPU installed on much worse components, so I don't think it's the issue as of writing the post. It has not crashed all day since this morning, where it crashed 2 to 3 times in a row. Well, if you want my opinion, I think that it may be overclocking. And well, here, let me look up this power supply real quick. I feel like it's a bronze. It is a bronze. Well, What did he have before? So it is a bronze. And he said, I considered the power supply not being sufficient. However, the issue occurred before I had my video card and new CPU installed on much worse components. So I don't not think it's the issue. As of writing this post, it has not crashed all day since this morning where it crashed 2 to 3 times in a row. And suddenly it has been fine all day while playing games in casual use. For some reason, this cycle restarts when I go to bed and the computer has been off for 8 hours and I load back up in the morning. Okay, well, we were thinking possible PSU as well, but let's flip it. What is it plugged into? If it's plugged into a power strip, try to plug it into the wall to see if that makes a difference. I did that, still crashing. Switch to another outlet on another wall just to be sure as well, still crashing. Well, this power supply is kind of looking you in the face, bro. It's a 650 watt power supply, but it's bronze. So we're talking about 400 some watts. And I feel like this would be that if it spikes. Like if it spikes up because, it's a 1100, 11, let me see, 11700 KF. What's its boost clock? Boot, boot, do, 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 do. Come on now. Okay, let's see. So its turbo boost is up to almost 5 gigahertz. So yeah, it probably can get pretty hot here. But let's say, what's the TDP on that? We can do the math for you. Okay, it has a 125 watt TDP. And then the 3060 Ti TDP. 3060 Ti TDP. About 200 watts. It's about 325 watts plus everything else. So we're talking about 400 watts. And then the bronze, 650 watt bronze, 650 watt bronze, max utilization. So 650 watts is, let's see here. Let's see. Let me look. I was wondering if 650 EVGA bronze would be enough. Blah, blah, blah. What is this? What is this I'm looking at? I shall join. Guess it depends on the card. Blah, 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 blah. That doesn't help me any. Will 650 watts be enough? There used to be a table that actually showed it. Well, 650 watts. Sup, Vec, my man? How's it going, bro? Is 650 watt going to be enough there? 650 watt recommended with a build with 3090. No, of course not. What? Let's see. I feel like he's going to be kissing it, though. I feel like he's going to be kissing it. Because we're talking about 125 plus something around 200. So we're talking about 325 watts to like 425 watts. So Chilling came for some juicy tech tips. Yeah. So this guy here, yeah, I feel like it may be his power supply, bro. Like his, he has 11700 KF. I already looked it up. It's like 200 watts, around 200 watts. And then he has a 3060 Ti, which is, well, I'm sorry, the 11700 KF is 125 watt TDP, and then the 3060 Ti is around 200 watts, but he has a 650 watt bronze, and he said he had the issue beforehand, but okay, so you had the issue beforehand, but what processor did you have before you went to this guy? Because if I didn't know any better, it sounds as if the power supply is saturated and thus rebooting you. The rig you currently have is about 400 watts, give or take. It may boost higher. That's what I was thinking of. The 650 watt efficiency of the what is the efficiency of a 650 watt bronze? Bronze. Okay, it means it has a guaranteed typical efficiency of about 85%. So 85% of 650. So that's what, 10%, that's 65 plus 30, so about 100. So about 550 watts. So yeah, it should be fine. But it's starting to make me wonder, give or take. But you can handle a bit over 500 watts. Let me see. Maybe if there's something you can replace it with. I've checked every event viewer. I consider the power supply not being sufficient. PC blank screens and shuts down completely multiple times a day, and there's nothing I can do to fix it. Well, maybe you can go into the settings and remove the overclocking feature of the Intel processor. How about this? How about this? Go into the Intel settings and remove the overclocking. Like, how do you, like, I haven't had an Intel in a long time. Intel 11, what was it? What processor did he have? I feel like he had a 11 something. 11700 KF. Okay, cool. 11700 KF, remove overclock. How do you overclock or underclock? No. Actually, you know what? Let's try this. I have an idea. How about this? Run a Cinebench test. This test. What happens to the computer? Does it shut off? What? Yeah, we'll go with that. Run a Cinebench test. What happens to the computer? Does it shut off? Let me see if there's anything better than that. You can do mem test. Not mem test, but because if it was memory would blue screen you. It doesn't really just kill you like that. If it wanted to kill you, it just kill you. But it will let you know about it because it kind of just crashes. So if it's not memory, then we would be looking at something in the, let me see, 650 watt to 400. It could be, I mean, I still think it might be a power supply issue, but Prime 95, good Lord, that took forever. Cinebench test, see what happens to the computer. Does it shut off? Also, try Prime 95 as well and see if the PC turns itself off. I am trying to see if we max it out, does it trigger a failure, which will let us know if it's power related. If it's overheating, then it would freeze instead of rebooting itself, right? Yes. If it's overheating, yeah, it'll start to pixelate, and then it would just straight up freeze on them. It wouldn't give them a chance. Sometimes it may reboot, but it won't be quick like that. That quick reboot, I've seen that. I've only seen it on AMD products, and I've seen it whenever it's hit a particular threshold that it can't maintain, and it crashes because of it. But it's almost like just a straight up reboot. But I've only seen it on AMD. I haven't seen it on Intel. And so for him to have the issue on Intel with a bronze power supply, and the power supply is the only thing that he really hasn't changed up too much, it makes me think that it may just be a power supply issue, and it may not be able to handle the efficiency that it once was able to handle, which would explain the whole 100-watt delta between what he's actually pulling and what he could pull. But the quickest way to try to figure this out is to have him either run Cinebench or Prime 95 to see if he can trigger the issue. If he can trigger the issue with Cinebench or Prime 95, then we can say, okay, yeah, it looks like it's going to be the power supply, and then we kind of go to say, and did he say it loads into Windows? Can he clear CMOS? It does load into Windows. Everything is fine once he reboots. We can go with CMOS. If we go with CMOS, well, here, we'll go like this. Because I really want him to run the Cinebench and Prime 95, and if we clear CMOS, we may not be able to figure out what caused it. It's almost like a baby wipe. That works on two fronts. So yeah, with this one here, let's do this. Let's say after running the test, perform a CMOS, clear the CMOS to see if that makes a difference. Yeah. We don't want it to interfere though. We want to go ahead and see what he gets. Like if we can trigger it, that would be very, very interesting, because if we can trigger his issue consistently and it happens every time that he runs Prime 95, then yes, it could be something in BIOS or it can be his power supply. Then the next step would have been to reset the BIOS. And then if the BIOS doesn't fix it, then it would be the power supply. Could it be a BIOS setting? Yeah. So it would be this, then power supply in this particular situation because of the way it kills them. So you can't really call memory to the table, or even high CPU to the table for that matter. You know, it's a could it be high CPU? No. It doesn't really sound too much like it, but we'll see. We'll see what he says. It seems like he's pretty apt to respond to us. But is everybody else talking, or is it just us? It may be just us. Also, I'd like to state that typically after the first shutdown and after 60-second reset of the power supply, the computer tends to be more stable and not just off as regularly until the next day when I boot up again. I had a similar issue when watching video randomly. The screen goes black despite reinstalling Windows 10. Issue persists. In the end, had to replace the motherboard. Yeah, we know. Everything after this is bad. So once the CMOS is cleared, and once he runs Prime 95 to see if he can recreate the issue, if this clear CMOS doesn't fix it, it's game over. Everything is going to be bad, because we're going to be looking at power supply, and we're going to be looking at motherboard, and we're going to be looking at CPU, and all three of them are not good. So no matter what happens after this one here is going to be money related. So yeah. It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. So froze to keep us posted, bruh. Let's close all those out. Yeah, that was kind of an interesting one. my piece of poo younger sibling broke my monitor. Any way to salvage it? Hell no, ain't no way to salvage that. Like, no. Nah, man. Like, nah, it's time to, what is it called? Emancipate your sister? Can you emancipate siblings? Yeah, it's time to emancipate her. Well, time to emancipate your sibling. Yeah, that's over, man. Is there any way to save it? Come on, man. Duct tape. Yeah, exactly. That's about it, man. There's no way. That is over, bro. You can see it cracked the glass, bro. Like, this is game over. I'd be so hot. I got to see what everybody says. Probably it costs more to repair than it's worth. That is absolutely correct. With every television in existence, it's always costs more to repair than it does to actually replace the television. Yeah, for example, the monitor costs $300 for the screen repair. It costs $250. You're better off just buying it new like that. You can buy replacement screens often on Amazon if you're technically inclined. You can change it yourself for under $30. Yeah, don't do that. I did this for an older MSI laptop I had. It's a pain to do, but doable too. Yeah, but a television, going to get beat. I don't know why people do. Okay, whatever. Mine has a similar break. It doesn't have the lines, but I got used to playing on mine after a few days. You notice it less and less every time. Username does not check out. I don't know, man. I think at this point I would just throw the television at her. But you know, that's me. Just make sure that it's fully broken at that point. That's some bull. Buy yourself a lock on your room while you're at it. Give the key to no one. Plot twist, they share a room. Guess someone will be sleeping in the hallway, and I'm not talking about the original poster either. Yeah, that's that would hurt me, man. That would hurt me. That would hurt me to my core when somebody breaks my TV. Like, for what? Oh my goodness, kids. I hope that's a kid, because if that's an adult, we fighting. Like, I don't care. like we gonna have a problem. Ooh, a hacked email. Let's do it. And it's long, so you know it's a problem. So they really got into trouble. All right, cool. Let me get ready. Oh, it's a phone email. Oh, and nobody replied. Okay. Panzer Schnizzle. Wow, I got that on the first try, and I'm okay with that. Panzer Schnizzle writes, did my email get hacked? I was using my phone when I got a Google prompt that popped up. It showed an image of a phone with a pulsing Bluetooth symbol in the center. Wait, what now? It showed an image of a phone with a pulsing, got a prompt that popped up. Okay. It also had text reading, "Are you trying to sign into your email blank?" And I wasn't, so I said no. And the prompt then said, "Someone tried to sign into your account and knows your password. Change it now." So I closed the prompt, signed into my email, and then changed the password. My previous password was long with a mix of symbols, numbers, and letters, and randomized. My new password I made was even longer. About 30 seconds to 1 minute later, it happened again. I said, "No, this isn't me," and again told me to change my password. I thought maybe my password manager was compromised, not LastPass. So I went to go change the master password, but then I realized that I have to give an authenticator code as well as approve new sign-ins on my phone, neither of which happened, so I thought it couldn't be that. But now I don't know how it was possible to get a complex password twice, and so quickly after changing. The only weird thing I don't understand is the prompt screen showing a phone with a large Bluetooth symbol posting in the center. I'm still trying to think what he's talking about there. I remember I had left my Bluetooth earbuds in another room and thought perhaps they were trying to reconnect. And because I have Google Assistant active, maybe this gave some kind of false login attempt warning. Has anyone gotten any experience with this? And has anyone seen a Google account login attempt warning with a big Bluetooth symbol? I don't have any dodgy apps installed on my phone either. Thanks for the help. Yeah, I can't picturize. I can't get a good picture in my head of what you mean by Bluetooth device. Bluetooth. Has anyone gotten this? Warning with a Bluetooth signal. You mean by warning with Bluetooth signal? Warning with blue. Oh. I put every letter in existence. Warning with Bluetooth symbol. Do you have a picture perchance? As to the issue itself, this may be a phishing attack. You may see an email that says someone tried to compromise your account. However, if you check who sent it, it would be some crazy name with the letters Gmail in it. So can you check the emails that you received to make sure the sender was from Google? Yeah, so that's how you handle with something like that. Generally, whenever you get this kind of a situation, it's usually going to be a phishing attack. And well, okay, it could also be somebody trying to hack your account. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. But sometimes it can actually be phishing attacks. And what they're actually trying to do, and the reason why it sends it multiple times, is because what it really wants to do is it wants you to go to the email and then try to authenticate your account through the email. So if you don't actually authenticate through the email, then it resends it again because it wants you to actually go through the email in order to activate your account. Therefore, it gets your information. So it appears that you didn't. You actually went somewhere else. You're like, oh my God, no. And you dropped the phone and then you went somewhere else and then you changed your password. So because of that, I think that's why it sent it again. So I think that maybe what's happening here. Now, it's a possibility that it could be another device that's trying to activate or log into your Google account. That is also a possibility. But that's what I would say for this. I would think that it's this until you tell me otherwise. So if you tell me, hey, no, the email did come from Google and this is what the picture looks like, then we'll proceed from there. But that's what I would say for this. I would say to check as if it was phishing first and prove that. If it's from Google, then we have something to investigate. Because if it's from Google, then there's a possibility they would also have an IP address of the user who tried to log in. So that's what I would say for this one here. Also, it helps that you change your password and you have two-factor authentication enabled and you have LastPass. You are well ahead of just about everyone else. So Panzer Schnizzle, you are doing your thing, my Schnizzle. So yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. You are more secure than everybody else I've ran into that are asking about email hack kind of issues. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so this was that RTX Meshalicious. So he did the 4090 with the Meshalicious, and we were talking about this because you can't run this, like the gigabyte is too small for the Meshalicious. And because of that, I was actually well, there's no I was going to. I bought this guy, Jones Bow ITX case, whatever that's called. Yeah, yeah, I think it's this one. No, no, it's not that one. Jones Bow ITX case Machalicious. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? M1. I feel okay. Why does it keep taking me back to Tom's Hardware? Okay, so there's the Meshalicious, and then there is one. I forgot what it's called. They have one from Jones Bow, but it looks exactly like the Meshalicious. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to close that out. Where'd it go? Okay. It looks exactly like the Meshalicio, but I can't find it now for some reason because I don't know, my eyes hurt. Yeah, it's somewhere around here, but I'll show it, like, obviously, because I'm probably gonna do the build like over the weekend or something, and I'll just show everybody. But yeah, well, I think it actually comes in on Tuesday, so we'll probably do it for like a Tech Tuesday kind of thing. But yeah, I want to swap it up and use that one instead because yeah, it's this. Why was that so hard? It was right here. Okay. It's this guy. So the reason why I want to come to this guy is because this guy can actually fit the Gigabyte and the Asus 4090, whereas the others can't. And on top of that, it's a little bit bigger than the Meshalicious and gives you more storage space, which is the BR3 is what it's called. So this is the one that I ordered because I was like, man, this will give me a lot more space, and I don't have to actually lose my platform. And then I tried to order like feet for this guy, but it still didn't work. So now I would like it to be on my desk and make it all LED and pretty. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and get this guy because this is the only case that I've seen that will actually fit the Gigabyte. And what are you building? Oh, so the computer that I run my stream on is a 7950X with a 4090, but the only reason why I have the 4090 is so we can troubleshoot. But I have that build, but the problem is the Gigabyte RTX 4090 is too big for the Meshalicious case that I have it in. So because of that, I'm going to swap it out to something like this so that it has the ability to actually sit on a desk and look pretty, and then I can show people the actual computer instead of it actually being underneath my desk. I'm gonna reverse it. So like I have a bunch of other stuff that's above my desk. I'm gonna put that below my desk, and I put the computer above my desk. But yeah, that way I can take pictures of it. So that's what I do for some reason. Where were we? Where we were talking about that? Oh yeah, this right here. All right, cool. So that's what I was going to do with this. And then we were talking about this 4090 Meshalicious. And then I was talking about, so basically he said the Etsy 3D printed bottom. So basically there's a bottom to it that makes it so that the problem is this guy is so big that whenever you try to put the cables in, the cables are on, like they protrude out of the case. So you can't actually sit it flush on the table. You have to flip it upside down. And because you flip it upside down, you can't access the USB and the USB-C ports unless you have it have it suspended, which is where mine is currently. It's like suspended on a table. It's hard to explain. I'll just show it in a video because it's so complicated that you have to do all of this, because basically it's like this. You see how his is kind of stuck to the ceiling and to the bottom? Well, here's the thing. When you start trying to plug things into that port right there, this HDMI ports, it won't fit. This case is too small for it. So they'll just stick out the bottom, forcing you to turn it upside down. And when you do that, you lose all your USB headers that are right here. That's the problem. And so I want to go ahead and replace that. But then he said, go ahead and go with the Etsy 3D printed bottom. And then I ordered it, but it didn't come in. And I want my money back. Just check to see if that helped. I have a Gigabyte Gigabyte 4090 overclocked and would love to pair it with the Meshalicious, but I've heard mixed results. Don't buy it, buy this. And is this on hold on, let me make sure it's not on Amazon. Hold on. Let me make sure it's not on Amazon. Jones. No, not that. Jones, whatever it's called, VR3. Jonesbo, JONSBO VR3. There we go. Is it here? Yes, it is. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me get him a link. Amazon. And I can't spell the word Amazon. And sorry, it's on another screen here, but this will only take 1 second. Oh, I copied the link. That's why. There we go. And text. And copy. There we go. That way it's not 20 pages long. It's basically the Meshlicious, but it fits the gigabyte perfectly. I ordered it as well. Yeah, you don't want to go with Meshlicious on that. It's nice and it's compact and you think that it's cool, but it's really not. It's kind of a pain because you can't go anywhere with it because the cables stick out the back unless you want to turn it upside down, and then there's a possibility that you can power it off because it's upside down and the power button is flush on the table. So yeah, it's super sensitive that way, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I mean, it's still kind of cool to have it in such a small case, but I'd rather go with this because it actually fits. Okay, well, let's go to the next one. So, trying to buy an Xbox Series X with unexpected consequences. Speaking of that, let me turn my Xbox on before it goes to sleep on me again. This is from JC Macro. Hello, guys. Hi, how's it going? Last month, last month I bought a Xbox Series S after being a PlayStation player basically all my life. What is wrong with you? Why would you do something like that? Really liked the experience and fell in love with Game Pass. I thought it would be a better experience with a Series X, so I returned my Series S to the Microsoft Online store to buy a Series X. The thing is, when I ordered the Xbox Series X, I didn't use my Microsoft credit, but used my PayPal balance, so I had to cancel the order. That's horrible. You know how hard it is to get Xbox Series X? Now, when I try to buy the Series X, this time without making a mistake and choosing my Microsoft credit, it appears an error because you can only order a Series X per account. Yep. I have contacted Microsoft support, but they have opened an issue and said that it can take a month to resolve it. I really can't do nothing to solve it. Nope. Nope. This is game over, but not the end. Just call every GameStop around and someone will most likely have it, or go online and check. That's how I got mine. Good luck, bro. Yeah, so with that one there's nothing that you can do for that. You can't, so a lot of them only have a purchase only once, and even though you canceled it, they still look at it that way. So by the time you try to get this actually resolved, you could have bought it from GameStop. I mean, if you call them guys every single day, or every single day that they're open, and ask them if they have an Xbox Series X, you have a higher probability of getting that guy than sitting here waiting a month and a half for them to resolve the ticket. It's not worth it. So it doesn't matter if they can fix it or not. That's irrelevant. What's relevant is the fact that it's a lot easier to buy it from GameStop than it is to actually go and deal with Microsoft. Like, that's a horrible idea. Buy it from another place. Yeah, I feel like everybody else is gonna say it. Yeah, support. Yeah, don't do that, bro. So I got mine. Good luck, bro. Yeah, there's nothing you can do, Macro. You have to go somewhere else for that. It's not worth it. Okay, chemically imbalanced. Wow. And it's a new issue. And it's a Bluetooth issue. Okay, let's do it. Bluetooth headphones activating voice control on iPhone. My Marathon Bluetooth headphones keep activating voice control on my iPhone. Oh, I know this one. Despite Siri being turned off. I first noticed it on Spotify as it kept skipping songs automatically after a few seconds of playing. I thought Spotify needed updating, but turns out it's actually the headphones. Other Bluetooth earphones are working fine. Had a quick scan on Google, but haven't found any solutions. Anyone resolved or encountered this issue? Yup. This usually happens for one of two reasons: sweat, or a slight brush with a clothing or body part. Bear in mind, this also happens with the Apple Watch as well. And several other headbutts. There's a bunch of them that do this. Sweat or light brush with clothing. But yeah, so either the sweat or a slight brush will cause this. So you can test this by just using it in your normal day-to-day life to see if you have the issue. If you don't, then that's probably it. What kind of headphones are we talking about here? Here? There we go. I got the right one. Yeah, this happens all the time. So whenever you're because he's a marathon runner, right? So that means he's going to be running for a very long distance and at a very set constant speed. So depending on the headphones, the sweat that drips from his ears can actually get into his earbuds, and that can cause the issue very, very quickly. This happens to me all the time when I'm at the gym or when I was testing earbud products. I've had it happen with the Buds Pros, which are these guys. These guys right here. So the Buds Pros did it, and the only reason why they were doing that is because the Buds Pros, this right here is the capacitive button. So like this right here on these guys, it's capacitive. So as soon as you start to touch it or brush up against it, it will trigger. And so like even if you did something like this, like for example, let's say this shirt right here, if I was to go and do like a bench press and then my ear rubbed against the bottom of my ear rubbed against it, that's enough to make it change. So it's little things that you don't think may be a problem. Like, so like if you're running or just like some kind of running motion, or if you go like this with your sweat, that will do it. It's the little things that you do while we're working out that will make it change. Or it can be affected by sweat and it'll change on its own altogether. So either or, because the sweat is almost like it activates it so that it will start to change songs and stuff like that and skip and do exactly what he's talking about. So yeah, that happens all the time. But I don't know necessarily if it's a knock on the product, because like, for example, like the Buds, because they have that capacitive button and because it's kind of like you just kind of press it, versus like something like, well, I don't have any over here, but I was thinking about the Jaybirds, the Blue Buds X. So like the Jaybirds, they don't have that issue because they have an actual button. So Jaybirds Blue Buds X, I think is what's called. Yeah, so like something like this wouldn't have that problem, but yeah, it's a known issue. I've seen it happen a lot of times, and yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do about that outside of just cleaning them, but you can figure that out real quick if you don't have the issue when testing. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think we're the only person who answered him, but that's pretty much all he needs to know on that one. But there's a possibility that it could be software, but more than likely, that's pretty much what it is. He's got to make ends meet somehow. Plumber work in the Mushroom Kingdom just doesn't pay bills nowadays. Yo, they're gonna put Mario on OnlyFans. Yo, that is hilarious. That is actually hilarious. You know what? This girl is a big spender. So is this person. Oh my God, Mario making some money. Yo. If they combine their powers, they can afford a Nintendo Switch. That is hilarious. That may literally be enough for Nintendo Switch if they add all the money together. They should just do that instead of this. Who the heck tips their strippers in 20s? We both know Mario ain't that thick. That sounds exactly right. Like, that is a very, very expensive stripper. Inflation, man. This economy is freaked up. Oh my God, dude, I'm so stoked for his entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A Smash Brothers Cinematic Universe will be dope. Kirby movie in 2024. Give us Donkey Kong movie and a Zelda movie. We're cooking. Hey, I don't know about some of them, man. Look, Zelda movie. Okay, here's the thing. I feel like Donkey Kong movie may end up being racist. I feel like the Zelda movie may also end up being racist. Because here's the thing. All right, because think about it. Think about Zelda, right? Zelda is a bunch of elves versus Ganondorf, right? Ganondorf is Gerudo, right? So but all the Gerudos are brown skin, but Ganondorf, the only male Gerudo, is black. It's midnight. So it's like, I don't know if they'll actually make that movie. And then Donkey Kong, I feel like if they gave him a more manly voice, I would worry that they would kind of go over the line with Donkey Kong. So that even worries me a little bit. But that Zelda movie, I don't know if it'll fit on paper because I think the environment now is too sensitive. Like, I would love to see it, but at the same time, my issue is that I'm afraid that they will ruin my childhood. It has nothing to do with the people and the characters and good versus evil and Zelda versus Ganondorf. And then Link tries to protect the princess. It's kind of like the old tropes, but at the same time, I think the world just isn't ready for a black villain named Ganondorf. And then, you have the whole Gerudo and him trying to take over. And yeah, I don't know if that would fly in 2022, but if it was like 1998 or the year 2000, that may actually fly. But this world is too sensitive nowadays. Nowadays, man, no. Nowadays, it'll probably get canceled before it comes out. Have you not played Super Mario Odyssey? Hey, Super Mario Odyssey was a game. Remember what they took from us? Yeah, that would be kind of an interesting one. But yeah, and Zelda, I don't know, man. I don't know about the Zelda movies. They did Sonic well, so they did Sonic justice. So we'll see what happens. I kind of like the fact that they did good with Sonic. But if Sonic, I wish they made Sonic the standard. If Sonic was the standard and every other game that came out, it was like, okay, does it beat Sonic? And be like, no, then don't release it. That's the way I feel about it. It's like, okay, well, it's better than Sonic. If it's better than Sonic, then release it. Or if it's on par with Sonic, release it. But if it's worse than Sonic, then don't release it. Don't waste anybody's time, because all you're gonna do is ruin people's childhood and make them cry on the inside. Why would you make somebody cry on the inside? That's very, very mean. Okay, Nike. Okay, we'll call him Nika. Nika. Okay, cool. Nika says, please help. PS5 won't turn on, but stays in this perpetual state. Okay, for it to stay blue is kind of interesting, because it won't stay blue for very long. Like, even mine will stay blue for like 9 seconds. Yeah. So if it's staying blue, then do you have it connected to something? Well, let me see. Maybe his cables will tell us. No, it doesn't. Okay, try to connect to a different device or television to see if it gives you a picture. Also, does it stay blue even when booting? Or does it go white or orange? So when it goes white, it's asleep, and when it goes orange, I don't think I think orange is actually the controller, actually. Or does it go white? So yeah, white is when it's asleep and blue is when it's on, and it will kind of alternate between them when it goes back to sleep. But the fact that it's staying blue, it doesn't stay blue for very long unless you set it to do something like that. So he may need to go ahead and try to reset the device. Also, does it stay blue even when booting, or does it go white? After the reboot, if that does not resolve the issue, may need to do a wipe or a factory reset of the PS5. So there's no option on the PS5 to oh, it's already on. Okay, there's no option on the PS5 to wipe it. Well, there's an option, but it's not. He can't actually get here. So, for example, I think you can in the system. Reset options. Yeah, you can. All right, so reset options and then reset your console. So it's just like the Xbox, where the Xbox does have the same option. I think we're still there, actually. B. Yeah, so under the console info and then reset console. So they both have the same. Let me get off these buttons before I reset them both. But they both have the option to. But in this particular situation, seeing the fact that we can't actually get into it, we don't really have that option. But here's the thing about it, though. It going blue or going white means that it does have some type of connectivity, or maybe it's losing HDMI connectivity, which means that he may have to plug it into a different device or a different port or a different HDMI cable, something along those lines. Also, does it stay blue even when booting, or does it go white after the reboot? If that does not resolve the issue, you may need to do a factory reset. Swap out the cable. Actually, I'll say that first. Swap out the cable, and you may need to do a factory reset of the PS5. We'll say that. And the reason why I added so much is because there are 639 comments. I just saw it and clicked on it, but I thought it was kind of cool. Unplug it if it's still glowing, call a priest. That's awesome. man, like these comebacks are actually pretty good. I need an old PS5 and a young PS5. I reckon you need an old PS2 and a young PS5. Nah, he's a middle-aged PS4 and a young PS1. He needs a seasoned PS3 and a modded PSP. The power of Sony compels you. Yeah, that's that's actually pretty good. Like this one right here, like to see it glowing blue, that's a little interesting, man. I've never seen it just go straight blue like that. So yeah, I would try a reboot, and then I would also try to change out the cables to make sure that it's not an input issue. After that, though, I would try to go for the reset and see if that actually gets it going. But solid blue is actually better than it not turning on. So, I mean, that means there's still hope. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I wonder if he actually told somebody. But I'm not about to go through 600 posts to try to figure this out. It's probably spooked by Mr. Ballin episode OP is watching. Okay, I'm not even priest here. I'll get the holy water. Make sure to bring the power of Christ for compelling purposes. Good Lord. Try resetting through safe mode. Had to do this before. Yeah, I think everybody's going to say safe mode. Thank you for trying to help. That's from the original poster. Yeah. That's the thing, man. It's like an 85% of it, or it's just people clowning him. But I hope that works, man. I think that we told him everything. That's what I was worried about. I was like, man, let's just go ahead and tell him everything, instead of just giving him only just one option and having a conversation back and forth. There's no point. He's going to have 1,000 comments before he actually sees mine. So I'd rather just tell him everything. That way, when he sees it, he can try it all. But yeah, that's what I would do for this one. A glowing blue. Okay. What's wrong with my disc or Xbox? I put Dark Souls 1 Remastered into an Xbox. Sorry. Wow, I just misspoke that whole sentence. I put Dark Souls 1 Remastered into my Xbox a while back and it installed, but it was making weird noises while in there, so I took it out to make sure it didn't break. But now when I put it in weeks later, it won't read my disc. It just tells me to put the disc in when it's already in there. What could be the problem? Well, are there scratches on the disc? Do you have any other disc games? Are they seen by the Xbox? Well, are there scratches on the disc? Do you have any other disc games? Are they seen by the Xbox? I put Dark Souls 1 Remastered into my Xbox a while back. Okay, a while back. So he probably hasn't had it for or probably had it for a while. When did Dark Souls 1 come out? It came out when the PlayStation came out, which is around Christmas. So, or a little bit before Christmas. So yeah. I don't think there's anything else we can say for that. That's pretty much it. Well, are there scratches on the disc? Do you have any other disc games? Are they seen by the Xbox? Yeah, there's nothing else you can do on that. I don't think there's a setting like here, we can go back to it. Let me just make sure. I don't think so, because what I was thinking about is it's on cameras, but I don't know if it'll actually be on a Blu-ray because it's kind of a laser. But I just figured I just wanted to check just to make sure there's nothing that cleans it. Disc, play disc, no. Blu-ray, persistent storage, let me receive or decode audio, no. No. Media remotes, preferences, like reminder, no. Accessibility, no. Okay, just making sure that it didn't have any crazy options that I never heard of before that it got added to this system that I didn't know about. I don't think so. So yeah, with this particular situation here, I would just say that's all you can really do for it. I mean, it's a freaking disc. There's only two options. There is either scratches on the disc or scratches on the inside of the Xbox, and now it can't read discs. So that's pretty much the only thing that you can do for those two. There's no option to like clean or anything like that. So the reason why I came up with that idea, right, is because back in the day, I don't remember what system this was, but you used to be able to get a disc cleaner. I think it was on the Wii, may have been the Wii or the original, like what was ever before the Wii, the GameCube. But you could get like a CD cleaner, and if you look underneath the CD, there are bristles around the CD. So whenever you put it into the system, it'll spin and it will clean the actual sensor that's actually, you know, picking up the actual CDs. That's because I'm old. I don't know if that's true anymore, but that was the last time I've had a CD console. Like my PS5 is a digital edition. I don't have any like CD consoles. Like even like the Nintendo Switch, I just buy all my games online. Like I don't actually have any kind of disc or anything like that. So that's the reason why I came up with that idea, but I don't know if that's true on the Blu-ray. And I don't know if that's something that's even a thing anymore, but back in the day, you could do that. You can literally buy a CD cleaner to clean whatever game console you had, and it had little bristles on the bottom that would clean the actual CD thing. So it was actually pretty cool. I always liked it. I'll put it in there for like 30 minutes. I would be so afraid. Like I would just let it run. Be like, look, I wanted to clean it, make sure everything is perfectly fine because I cannot lose this game console. I only have one. But yeah, I don't know if that's a thing anymore. So I just wanted to bring it to his attention. Okay. Oh, we're doing pretty good on time, actually. I thought it was going to be bad, but this isn't too bad at all. So we still got group 6, which is huge. And let's see if we can grab. No, I already got that one. Ooh, wired Wi-Fi. I'm so taking that. All right, cool. Let's do this. All right, this is from Ekis. Yeah, X. All right, cool. So this is from X. Let me put this back. Stay still. All right, bet. Let me get a drink here. The laptop, what? Okay. The total data usage is vastly more than what it used to in the item list. My laptop data usage section is telling me I have used 2 gigs in the last 2 days. When I look at the itemized totals directly underneath, there are a couple of 2 megabyte, 10 or so at 1 megabyte, and the rest are less than 1 megabyte. Where is the other 1900 odd megabytes? What? Data usage. Oh, okay. He's talking about data like using his data. He's not talking about like, okay, well he is, but he's not talking about like he's worried about storage data. He's saying that it's used but still that's not a lot. Okay, it's 1900 megabytes is 1.9 gigs. So yeah, that is quite a bit. But 1.9 gigs. When I look at the itemized total directly underneath my laptop data usage section, what is he talking about? Windows 11? Windows 11. Windows. Oh, that's actually the Mac. Is he using a Mac? I don't think he's using a Mac. Okay, cool. Let me go to Windows 11 then. All right. So what? Data usage overview. Oh, well. Data usage. Oh. Okay. Huh. So he says he has. Is this anything bad on here? No, I was making sure. I've never clicked on this before. Okay, no. We're good. Okay, everybody knows I play Genshin Impact. Network and internet and data usage. Data limit. Windows can help you track data usage to stay under your limit. Will warn you when you're close, but it won't change your data plan. So, okay, so I've used a gazillion gigs. He used 2, and he's trying to figure out where it came from, and it's basically going to be an assorted order. But there's nothing you can choose here. Like, for example, if we choose, like I can't click on anything. It's just here. So what about Windows 10? Does Windows 10 do the same thing? Let's go Windows 10. Windows 10. Data usage. Yes. Where is it? Is it not here on 10? Okay. Well, I guess just from that we know he's on Windows 11. Updating, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Connection reset, change adapter. Network and sharing. Show available networks. Data usage. Oh, I'm sorry. Right in my face. Okay, so it does the same thing here. But only thing that you can do here is enter a limit. So regardless if it's 10 or Windows 10 or Windows 11, it's the exact same thing. So if we go back to him, I'm sorry, I opened the wrong browser. Well, more than likely, what happened is the 1.9 gigs you're looking for is already gone. It was like a weekly thing, wasn't it? I feel like it was. Wasn't it weekly something? Why do I keep clicking on the Mac? That's just tacky. You're better than that. Yeah, from the last 30 days. So maybe it's not updating properly. And you can't change anything either. Only thing you can do is enter a limit. So yeah, I would say, well, more than likely what happened is the 1.9 gigs you're looking for is already gone, but it's still updated. Oh, it still hasn't updated properly. Has it rebooted in the past month? Let's see. There's nothing else you can do on that screen. So the only thing you can do is enter a limit. And it doesn't matter if it's Windows 10 or Windows 11, it's the exact same thing. You can't do anything. So when I look at the itemized totals directly underneath, there are a couple of 2 megabytes, 10 or so, but there is nothing that equals the 1.9 gigs that he's missing. Yeah, it's just not showing it. I would try a reboot to see if the number changes. See if there's anything else we can do on that. I don't think so. Like, nobody's ever asked me about data usage. I didn't even know people use it. Huh. Well, now we learned something new. Apparently people use data usage because I didn't know at all. I've never had anyone ask me about that. I didn't even know it was a feature. Like I've seen it somewhere, but I never clicked on it. So I didn't know what it was capable of, but apparently it's not capable of much because you can't even click on anything. All it does is tell you which programs use your most data. So, whatever. I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, I just say, well, more than likely what happened is the 1.9 gigs you're looking for is already gone, but it still hasn't updated properly. Has it rebooted in the past month? Try a reboot to see if the number changes. That's all we can really do here. Like, nobody's ever asked me that. That'd be like somebody asked me just some random question off of Windows, and it's like, well, nobody ever used it. Nobody's ever asked me that before, but we'll see what happens. X, keep us posted. That's kind of an interesting one. Yeah, I just think that like maybe a reboot would actually fix that. Well, it's a laptop, so he may need more than a reboot. He may have to actually remove the power and the battery from it. But yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of may have happened is that it may have already fallen off and it just hasn't updated on the screen to show you. Like, for example, the is the date off. The time/date off. That'll do it too. How long did it take me to come up with that? I feel like it only took like a minute. That's still pretty sharp. I'll let that go because that's a new issue. And then, yeah, I'm thinking that his time and date is off or his time zone. Is the time date / time zone off? Damn, that's good too. That's good. I should have came up with that immediately. Oh, well. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Yeah, that would explain this issue perfectly. Because if his time zone changed, or if he was in a time zone, or if he's in the incorrect time zone, but his time is set up properly, then it could have fallen off, but it's still showing that he's a gig or so behind. And then he maybe realized the problem and then he opened up a ticket. It's only been 3 hours. So yeah, I would say for this one here, it's probably more than likely going to be a time issue, but go ahead and try the reboot and see what happens. But yeah, interesting issue. Nobody's ever asked me that. That's pretty cool. We learn something new every day. I'm glad we actually did that one. Happens every time I open Minecraft in the Microsoft Store. Okay. first connect to the Xbox network. So yes, it appears that his network connectivity is having some problems. Every time you open Minecraft in the Microsoft Store, okay, well that means that you're losing connectivity to Xbox Connect. So there's 17 posts. So it means you're losing connectivity to Xbox Connect. What? We'll finish these and then we'll come back and then we'll go back to the Xbox support, because I don't like the Xbox support has like a million people that are at 0. And so I don't want to do too many of these while people have 17, because some people don't have any help. So, and that's kind of what we do here. And collect W's. So it means you're losing connectivity with an E. You're with an E. You're losing connectivity to Xbox Connect. So what you can try would be to connect the Xbox directly to your router to see if that resolves the issue. Go with that. Maybe it's too far away and you don't have a good signal connectivity between your Xbox and your Wi-Fi router, and we'll go from there. Now, of course, you can go a million different places from a Wi-Fi issue, but with all this help down here, or in a couple of clowning, I'm sure he'll probably find somebody. So that's why I'm just going to leave it at that and just see what he says. If he does reply, then we'll work him. I reset my Xbox 3 times, uninstalled Minecraft, and reinstalled it. Wi-Fi is perfectly fine and connected 100%. I literally have no idea what the issue is. Do you have Xbox Live Gold? Yes, I do. I can play other games, but not Minecraft or Microsoft Store. Oh, this is getting interesting. Maybe try unplugging it and plugging in the Wi-Fi. Also restarting the console before you plug it back in. Also forget the network before you turn it off. All right, I'll try that and let you know. I've got to go to bed, so I'll respond in the morning. Try doing what it says and checking connection. I have done everything it's told me, but sadly it hasn't worked. Okay. Ensure that you have a stable internet connection for your Wi-Fi. This is a common cause of the issue, and it could very well be the problem of your case. Yeah, of course. I have that as well with 2 games. It's a pain. Which games are you having problems with? Did you report it through Microsoft? Mine does. If I press a game or something fast after turning on, it's like the connection has a delay. But if I wait 10 seconds before pressing anything, it's fine. Wait, did you buy Minecraft or did you get it from Xbox Game Pass? Try using Ethernet connection, which is exactly what I said. I'm wired directly to the router. The new Xbox Series X is using the same run/port to the router. The old Xbox is able to play the game via Wi-Fi without error. We had this issue. The Xbox was in a different room to the router, but only 8 meters away. We got a free Wi-Fi extender from Virgin, and that they sorted the problem out and haven't had the issue since. If it was just a white plug that plugs into a power outlet, you have to reset your router, unplug 30 seconds, and plug it back in. Okay, okay. There's just too much. Okay, let's talk about this. All right, so there's a reason why they're saying a few things, right? So if they went to, let's just talk about this whole unplugging the router thing. So let's say we have, let's say we have a color pin. Let's actually go with red so we can actually tell. There we go. So if we have a router, right? That's a horrible circle. Can you fix it for me? No, you cannot. Here, we'll just try again. That's just terrible. I can't. All right, so if we have circle, there we go. And then a cross for a router. So if we have a router here, all right, this router here is going to be getting an IP from, we'll just call it the internet. So it's going to be getting an IP from the internet, right? If you turn it off for 30 seconds, the reason why they say turn it off for 30 seconds is because they want you to get a new IP address and then try to reconnect. But in his particular issue here, he's having 2 programs that he cannot access for the Xbox. So one is the Xbox Game Pass, and then the second one is Minecraft. But every other game he doesn't have a problem with, but he didn't mention what games. It's a possibility that he hasn't tried another game that goes online. I'm thinking that his issue is only going to be with games that go online, like Minecraft or the Xbox Game Pass. So the way you would troubleshoot him is to make sure that he tries a game that goes online. Now, the whole resetting your router is pretty much going to be his next step. That's the next step he's going to have to take with this kind of a situation, because he's tried wired, I believe he said, and he said that didn't fix the issue. So with this one here, let me see. If he was to unplug it to get a new IP address, that may help, but that's highly unlikely. What would help him more is the Wi-Fi. or the router itself, but he didn't say if he had a modem router. Let's go back to that real quick. Did he say he had a modem router? Because that would be interesting. Try using an Ethernet connection. We already tried that. I'm wired directly to the router. Okay. Okay. Let's revamp our answer because he got all kind of good stuff happening. I mean, losing connectivity to Xbox Connect. Edit. Just saw all your posts. Okay, here's what you do. Here's what you do. Okay, so he's losing connectivity, but he's wired. This router we are referring to, is it a modem router combo, or do you have a modem and a router? If it's a modem and a router, then bypass the router, plug directly into the modem, and reboot the modem. If it's a modem router, then, I just say modem / router. If it's a modem router, then reboot the modem router, reboot the modem router, reboot the modem router, and see if you can update the firmware. Then reboot the modem router and see if you can update the firmware. If it's the ISP modem router, well, let me think about that. He said that whenever he tried with his other Xbox, like his older Xbox, it worked just fine. I wonder how long ago that was. And he tried wired, and it didn't, and it basically gave him the same problem. Okay, we can go ahead and move further with this. So, if you can update the firmware and see if you can update the firmware. I can't go any further now. Oh, yeah, I can. I just couldn't see it. Okay. Now, there is one thing that we can talk about here that's interesting, and we can go ahead and talk about it, which is the NAT type. And I wonder if we go to network settings here, test NAT type. This is what I want him to do. Is modem router, then reboot the modem router and see if you can update the firmware. Lastly, what happens when you go to what is it? Where do we go? System network. General network settings. Go to general network settings and test NAT type. What does it show for you? Okay, what I'm thinking is that his NAT type may be some type of secure. So basically his NAT type may not be allowing him to have connections with the Xbox or Minecraft, but it's allowing everything else. So maybe they've changed at some point in time, and maybe his modem router just isn't allowing that to happen. But at the same time, if it's a modem and a router, a bypass would actually fix his issue. So yeah, we'll see what happens here, because once you bypass once you bypass, we'll say it this way. Once you bypass this guy here, this, there we go. Once you bypass this modem router here, once you bypass the router itself and go directly to the modem, then that means that you get this IP. So that means that you have the public IP address, so there's no need for port forwarding for any of the Xbox Connect or anything like that. Typically, it does it automatically, but it could be an issue with this particular router, but it will help us if we know what the NAT type is. So if like, for example, mine, when we did our test, was moderate, I obviously can go to Xbox Connect. So if he can't and he's having an issue, then I'm thinking that maybe his NAT type is secure or something higher than moderate. So we'll see exactly what he says from that, but that would at least make sense, because it seems as if it's blocking him, but only for certain ports. It's what it really sounds like, but we'll know more once he answers our question, hopefully. Everybody else that has talked to him has just talked about resets and stuff. So I think he may answer ours probably pretty quickly. So we'll see what he says for this one, but that's how I would troubleshoot this. I would basically, one, try to go for reboots and upgrades depending on the situation, if it's a modem and a router or a modem router combo, but then also going to the network settings and seeing what his NAT type is, because it just seems like it's only blocking for certain ports. So, okay, Xbox, over the years of all Xbox in history, Xbox used to always want you to run port forwarding, which basically means that if we go to the picture here, which basically means that it wanted you to poke holes in the network. So like, for example, if we were here and we can just erase this right here, right? So if we erase this, so essentially it wants you to poke a hole in your router in order to get to your computer, which is right here, right? So it always wanted you to do that. So basically, if this is a server over here, okay, it wanted to poke a hole through your router so that it can initiate traffic from over here, and then the actual host itself can reply back. So basically, this guy wants to initiate traffic, but it can't actually initiate traffic because it doesn't know what this guy's IP is. It has no idea. This guy's IP is going to be like 192.168.2.4, but it never gets out to the public internet. The public internet sees, 64.x.x.x. You know what I mean? So it sees the public IP address. So it doesn't know what this guy's IP is. The router does, but this guy doesn't. So what it does is it's called port forwarding. So basically, it wants to initiate traffic so it can actually host. So basically, it wants to host the actual game itself. So because of that, it tries to poke a hole through your router. The Xbox has always wanted to do this, right? But over the years, as routers have developed, you didn't have to do this anymore. But I remember for years and years and years, I would say for maybe 5 or 6 years, I used to have constant customers that I would have to walk through how to open ports on their Xbox and show them how to do port forwarding every single time. But over the years, it's gotten better and you don't have to do that anymore. It already opens the ports. But I'm thinking that maybe what's happening to him right now is that would explain why it's blocking him for certain things and allowing him for others. But we just need more information from him before we can make that conclusion. But that's what I was thinking when he told me. So we'll see what he says. It's kind of an interesting one, interesting issue. I wish that he could maybe reply back to us a little bit quicker and we can pick up tomorrow and then continue working, because his issue actually sounds like it may actually be interesting. Because it's like, okay, well, if he has a modem router, then what would you do? Versus if he has a modem and a router, what would you do? But if he has a modem and a router, then it's ball game, because then we can just go straight to the modem and see if that fixes the issue. And if it does, then he has a bad router and we can just move on from there. Or not necessarily a bad router, it's just a router that needs to be updated or the settings need to be reset. So that's how you would troubleshoot that issue. It's kind of an interesting one. You don't get that one too often. I'm glad we're doing Xbox now, because now we get crazy stuff like this where we can actually talk about it. But yeah. Casual M60 enjoyer, keep us posted. Good Lord. I'm glad we went and talked to everybody, because that was that's interesting. That's gonna be an interesting one. Hopefully he'll reply back. He probably will. That's too much good information to not reply back. We went all in on that. Okay, so this is Wild. Okay, you Wild is what I was looking at, but you is the name of the user. Okay, home Xbox One. Okay, I'm ready. Let me stretch. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. Okay, home Xbox. I have just moved house. Get it together, Anthony. I have just moved house and don't have Wi-Fi until 21st of February. Bro, not correcting that made my head hurt. I want to play my Xbox offline, but I need to make my Xbox, my home Xbox, I think, to play. No. I want to play my Xbox offline, but I need to make my Xbox my home Xbox, I think, to play. Oh, okay. I've tried going on settings to change it to my home Xbox, but it says I need to be connected to the internet to do this. Right. I've tried Googling it, and it says to try hotspotting, but the connection is too unstable to work. Still might work, but I'm not sure. And I've tried... I'm sorry, a photo came in my face. And I've tried pressing the offline button on the network settings, but it just doesn't want to do anything. If anybody knows a way I can make it my home Xbox or work another way or any other way, help would be appreciated. Yeah. Well, so he just moved to a new location and he won't have Wi-Fi until the end of February. Well, how heavy is your monitor? Here's what I would do. Okay. I'd take it to Starbucks. I'm serious. I would take it to Starbucks, get on Starbucks Wi-Fi, and set it up so that you can use it in offline mode. That's what I would do. But should I tell him that? Yeah, I would tell him that. Well, how heavy is your monitor? Me personally, I'm not going 3 weeks with no internet. It's my entire career. LOL. So I would personally take my monitor and Xbox to Starbucks, get a cup of coffee, and set up the network to make it your home so you can be offline. No one will care. LOL. So yeah, that's what I would do for that. Now, you can still try the cell phone, but the cell phone signal is weak. You're not even going to be able to download games. Just go to like um Starbucks or like a Spectrum or something like that. So no one cares. So I would say if you're in the US, he may not be in the US. So I would say go to a place with good Wi-Fi and a plug and get her done. Get her done. Yeah, that's what you would do for that. I mean, that's kind of the best way to handle that situation is to just take it somewhere. I mean, most people, they may have a television, but he also may have a computer monitor so that it's a little bit easier to play. Now, if he has a television, yeah, he's going to be in a world of hurt. But if he doesn't have a television, then he has some options, especially if he has like a small monitor or just like a 27-inch monitor. Like, I don't care. I would take a 27-inch monitor and I would take my Xbox because I'd be like, hey, I don't have Wi-Fi until the 21st. Is it all right if I use it real quick and I'll buy whatever and just buy like a coffee or a scone or something and then just use their Wi-Fi and then just bounce when you're done. That's what I would do. That's the best way to handle that situation. Now, you can go hotspot. They are right about that. Oh, let me tell them. You can purchase a hotspot or allow the Xbox to tether to your phone, provided your phone supports the feature without charging you. Okay. And those are his other two options. So either go a hotspot, so like it's a little hotspot device that you can purchase, or you can use a phone that actually has tethering and then go from there. So either one of those is pretty good, depending on, if you can get 5G in the area, especially if you can get 5G in the area, because then you have a chance of getting some pretty good download speeds. So yeah, that's what I would say for this, Wild. Keep us posted, bro. So this is from Ruben Kutch. Ruben Kutch? Ruben. Let's go with Ruben. Ruben says, Wi-Fi speeds gone drastically slow after resetting my computer. Okay, so I had fully restarted and reinstalled Windows on my PC, and now I'm downloading all my stuff back. Okay, however, I noticed that my download speeds are 4 to 5 times slower than before. I used to get 8 to 10 mega. There's no way you're getting 10 megabytes per second. Okay, we'll just, well, maybe you are, because 10 megabytes, what is that? That's 80. That's, yeah, 80 megabits per second. Did I say that right? I think that's right. On Steam, and now my peak is, okay, I'm just going to assume that he's talking about 10 megabits per second and 2.5 megabits per second. And even if he's not, he's talking about 80, and I don't know, 2.5 times 8. Are there any fixes? Yeah. Yeah. Have you installed all of the Windows updates and drivers yet? More than likely, if your signal has degraded from a wipe, it means you may not have the most up-to-date drivers. Is there anything else I can say to him? If, let me see. If it's not a driver issue and he's getting that slow connectivity, you can also reboot the router. Also, if it's not the drivers, then reboot the router. Actually, you know what? To see if it makes a difference. You can go a couple different ways with this one. You don't have to say this. You can say, oh, can you try another device in the home? Is it also slow? You see what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to say this, but we'll go ahead and say it because we started. I didn't feel like retyping. But both of them are equal. Whether you tell them to reboot the router or if you tell them to try a different device in the home on Wi-Fi and see if it has the same issue, they're equal. They both do the same thing. They both are basically trying to teach you whether or not it's going to be the router or not. Which is just one's like slightly ahead of the other, but either one are equal. So I wouldn't trip if anybody said either one. So yeah, Ruben, that's what I would do for this one here. You know, there's not a whole lot more we can say on this one because it just seems like you may have a driver issue. Your drivers may be degraded and you may have to upgrade to the most up-to-date drivers. But, you know, that's how I would troubleshoot that one. Ruben, I hope it helps, bro. How many people have we helped today? I feel like we've done a lot. I feel like we've helped. Yeah, we're almost at 30. I want to get to like 50. I want to help like 50 people in a day. But I gotta change the time so that people are around when I actually do it. Like, but I want to get to at least helping 50 people a day. I think that'll feel good for everybody. All people involved, people watching and people that are helping and everything. I feel like we all just want to help as many people as humanly possible. Unless they're, you know, douches, then, you know, they can help themselves. Oh, wow, this is really long. Random black screen while gaming, about to throw PC out the window. Okay, now I have to help. I mean, goodness gracious. It's gonna be like that, what is it? That meme. I gotta put it on my Steam Deck so we can actually switch to it. Okay, let's do this. Exit Moscow. Exit Moscow says, random black screen while gaming, about to throw PC out the window. Hey, everyone. What's up, homie? Since I built my PC about a year ago, I've been experiencing this issue. It happens only while gaming, okay? And when alt-tabbing or browsing the internet, my screen goes black and wouldn't come back. A scratching noise comes out from the speakers. What? Hey, you like that person with the PS5, you need some holy water. What? Is it telling you to go to sleep so it can poison your nightmares? Because if it is, I think that's just Freddy Krueger, man. I don't think that you're actually having an issue. But okay, cool. Every LED vent stays on. Numlock is responsive. I am then forced to shut it down manually. Windows displays error code 41, which is the power rebooted unexpectedly. In the event viewer, this happens with Modern Warfare 2, Red Dead Redemption, and Fortnite. Okay, a scratching noise comes out from the speakers. Every LED vent stays on. Numlock is responsive. I am forced to shut it down manually. It sounds like it's overheating. It's been quite the experience. This is some of the things I did for now. Tried multiple times, DDU, disable MPO. PC always had two separate PCIe cables going into the GPU, slight GPU undervolt, slight GPU underclock. Never overclock, by the way. I assure you that every temperature is totally fine. So that's the first question to be like, hey, so what's your temperatures like? Issue was there with my old 5600X and an X570 config. Why would you upgrade from an X570? And in that case, the motherboard would try to reboot, and someone told me it is an AGESA bug. VGA LEDs came up on easy debug, okay, because the monitor went into sleep mode instantly. Also, the noise was there for like 2 seconds. This does not happen with my new motherboard. The noise lasts forever and no sign on easy debug. I now have a Z6. Oh, dear God. My man is going in. I now have a Z690 13600K. Okay, so that means he replaced the motherboard and the CPU. I also changed my RAM kit. Oh, wow. And he changed his RAM. Issue still there. I'm probably forgetting something. Literally tried everything. I don't know about that. Tried my brother's GPU, same as mine, Radeon 6800 XT, different custom. Issue was still there. Okay, let's think about this. He has the issue with a new processor, a new motherboard, new RAM kit, and new GPU. Bro, that's it. Power supply is all that's left. Issue was still there. Only thing that always were in my config are Corsair RMK50X. Yeah, exactly. Corsair official sleeved cables. Okay. Fun fact. With the Corsair, specifically the RM850, the white version and the black version, okay, the cables for the Corsair are different than the 750. Don't ask me why. That's just what they did. And if you try to use the same cables from a 750 to an 850, it will not work. It will cause issues. And it may have caused his issue. That's what we're about to talk about, because he said he has custom cables. Well, which one? If they're custom cables for the 750, then it's not going to work for the 850. 850 is totally different. The 24 pin is totally different. But the fact that it's booting makes me think that it's okay. But yeah, I would say that it may be an issue with his cables. This is the only time I will say that, because that's the only time I've run into that situation where the 750 and the 850 are different. Only Corsair does dumb stuff like this. Like, why would you make the 850X 24 pin be different from the 750 24 pin? But neither here nor there. We'll come back and we'll let him know just in case. But I mean, he's already pointing at his power supply because he's already replaced everything else. I am asking you, what should I try to do first? As soon as I have time, I'll remove the overclock on the CPU. I'll remove every Corsair sleeve cable and reseat every stock cable. I never tried to reseat the cable in that goes into the PSU. Could it be my NVMe? Could it be a corrupt Windows save version or the monitor? I just hope that someone had my same exact issue and has an answer, man. I thought it was either motherboard or CPU, since I read many people had crashing issues with the 5600X, but unfortunately that's not my case. Yeah. Fun fact. The 24 pin of the Corsair 850 watt PSU is different from the Corsair 750 watt PSU. The pinouts are changed. It's possible the sleeved cables you have are for the 750 and below. I would try the original sleeved cables that came with the 850 to see if it resolves the issue. Also, take your brother's... How many monitors do you have? Also, how many monitors do you have? How many monitors do you have? He has a brother, so we can utilize him. I was going to say just take your brother's monitor and go ahead and hook it up and see if it gives you the problem. That way we can eliminate it being a cable or a monitor issue. But also, how many monitors do you have? Where does he hear the sound? He said it comes from the speakers, right? He said it comes from the speakers, but he never said what monitor. Oh, no, he did. He only has one. So he has the 27GP850. Also, when you have time, switch monitors with your brother, as well as the HDMI cable. Just beat him up if he no, I'm not. No. I was gonna say beat him up if he rejects. Also, when you have time, switch monitors with your brother, as well as the HDMI cable / display, HDMI / display cable, to see if that resolves the issue. Yeah, this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Well, I guess it was not that crazy. Here's how I found out, right? So what had happened was, okay, so that Dan case, right? The I'll show you. The A4SFX, this guy, A4SFX, right? So this guy here, if we go to this guy, right? So this guy here, you see how it has the CPU cooler in the back? Well, if you have a longer CPU cooler, like the cooler of a 3090, you can't actually do that. You have to put it at the bottom here, which is where my little green hand is. So once you have it at the bottom, the problem is that when we go, they have another picture. Yeah, when we go to the other side here, you see this? You see how it's bowing out like this, and you see how the cables are sticking out? You can't close the panel when it's like this, and it becomes very, very cumbersome and it's super annoying. Okay, so what you can do, instead of getting this Predator braid that's on the Corsair 750, you can actually get a custom cable. What ended up happening was I was trying to put in the 850 watt with the Ryzen, the new 7950X. I was trying to put in the my white Corsair 850 with the 24 pin that I ordered, but the pin that I ordered is actually for the 750. If you look at the pinouts between the 750, which is this guy, and the 850, which is the white one, you'll notice that they're different. And because the 24 pins are different, it wouldn't even boot. But in his case, it may. It really depends. It depends on what kind of motherboard he had and what other power supplies and all that other situation. So it's a possibility that it may have actually booted for him. That's why I'm saying that he may have some issues with his custom sleeving cables. So if he may have ordered it for the 750, which is this guy, instead of the white 850, he may be having a problem. And that's how I found out. And now that I know I'll never use the same cables even between systems. Like if it's Corsair, I'll make sure I use the cables that belong to Corsair. If I get extended cables from the Corsair pack, I want to make sure that it belongs to the 850 or it belongs to the 750 and below because they're different. And yeah, it sucks that I know that, but that's what happened. And I like how his fan is placed there, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go back to the issue. But that's how I found out. Where are we? We already talked to him. Yeah, we already talked to him. We already talked to him. We already helped him. Already helped this person. And yeah, we just helped them. So yeah, that's how I found out about this one. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what he says on this one, Mr. Moscow. But yeah, keep us posted, bro. That's kind of an interesting one. All right, we got two more. Okay, is the Elite 2 controller still breaking? I was considering giving myself an Elite 2 controller, mainly because I play a lot of racing games and the back paddles would be very nice. It's this guy. I saw it, and so I went and grabbed it. I have it, even though I don't use it. Like, for example, I can show you guys real quick. Okay, we'll just go like this so you guys can see it. This is the 2. So this is the Elite controller on your left, and then this is the Elite 2. They're pretty much the same and they feel pretty much the same. The only thing about these guys is that you don't get a replacement of this guy, which is the actual, you know, like you don't get this. And this comes with the original Elite, but it doesn't come with the Elite 2 for some reason, which is kind of annoying. But outside of that, they're pretty much exactly the same. So let's move back here. Okay, so that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the Elite 2 guy. So with this one here, he says, I play a lot of racing games and the back paddles will be nice to have. Sim wheel isn't really an option for me since I am playing in the living room and I don't really have place for a wheel stand or anything like that. But after reading many negative comments, I am split in half whether I should actually get it. I noticed that most comments are older, 2019, 2020, and was wondering if anything changed since then. Is the durability still that bad? Is the durability actually worse than the stock XS controller, or people just don't complain about this as much? Is the core version more durable? Is it relatively cheap here? And I would go for extended variant, extended variety for sure, but I just don't know if it's worth it. Thank you for your comments. I can explain this. All right, so here's the situation with the Elites, right? So this one here and this one here, right? So here's the thing. So it depends on the game you play, okay? Case in point, Genshin Impact. This button here, the right bumper, and the right bumper here is run. So that means you press it all the time, which means that it's going to wear out very, very quickly. This and this cannot be replaced. So you pay $200 or something for this freaking controller, and you can't even replace the right bumper. But at the same time, their warranty is exceptional because I've sent several of my Xbox controllers back to them, and they've sent, like, this right here is a replacement because my right bumper went out on my last one. So it depends on the game you play. If you play games that just use your A, B, X, and Y and maybe the paddle shifters, then that's okay because you have replacement paddle shifters. But if you use something that uses these four, which is like your Call of Duties, your Battlefield, stuff like that, or just uses this one in particular, if it goes out, it's game over. So I don't really like buying these anymore. because for the price of this core, this elite here, or the price of the elite 2, you can buy like 4 of the other ones. So just buy like 3 or 4 of the other ones. That way when it goes out, just throw it in the trash and just get a new one. I would always recommend buying 2 or 3 of the regular Xbox controllers instead of buying either one of these. I mean, this one right here is better than this one. That, make no mistake about it. This one right here is better. It's just that when it comes to these two, I would rather have 3 regular controllers. That way I can break them in case something happens with the bumpers or the triggers, than have one of these, because the triggers don't really break, but that right bumper is stupid. Okay, so that right bumper is the reason why I don't like buying these anymore. I bought this one because I was going to do a review on it, but then by the time I got it, everybody had already done a review on it, so I didn't see a point. But yeah, this right here, this right here, just doing this all the time, this right here breaks everything. So yeah, if you are trying to actually buy something like this and you want to save yourself money, definitely buy the cheaper ones, especially if the game you play uses right bumper more than everything else. Like if you think about Call of Duty, right? Well, right bumper just throws a grenade. So you're not really using it all that often. But when you're running and you're utilizing this thing more than normal, that's when you run into problems. So any game that you play that utilizes right and left bumpers is game over. So that's the same thing I'll say to him. So here's the thing. So here is the thing. We have all 3 controllers here as we support them. It's kinda our thing, LOL. So it depends on the game. It depends on the game. If you have a game that is heavy on the heavy on the right and left bumpers. If you have a game that is heavy on the right and left bumpers, then I would recommend buying 2 to 3 regular Xbox controllers instead of 1 Elite. If your game is heavy on any other button, then the Elites are fine. It's just for games like Genshin Impact, where the right bumper is run, that give the most problem, as you cannot swap them out. Outside of that, they are pretty good. Pretty good. Elite Original is greater than Elite 2. That's the reason why Elite 2 is cheaper. If we look at the Elite 2, Xbox Elite 2, it's like 115 versus the original Elite, which is 179. That's why it's cheaper. It's not as good. Like, and one, you don't get that. You don't get the up this thing. I don't remember what to call it, but you don't get the up, down, left, right. You don't get that, and that really annoys me. But you get the back buttons though. But that's pretty much it. That's the difference between them. So if anybody wanted to know, there's your answer. All right, so we're gonna go back to this last one here, and we'll finish up. All right, this is from Hades. So we're back to Wi-Fi. So we went from gaming to Wi-Fi. I'm down with that. All right, Hades loses wired Wi-Fi internet at the same time every day for 20 seconds. 20 seconds? Not only Wi-Fi, it is all connections, wired phone, game console, etc. Lasts for about 20 seconds, then it's fine again. Happens at the same time every day for multiple days in a row, but randomly changes to another time every week or so. Sometimes it's at 3 a.m., sometimes it's at 6 p.m. Not a heavy use issue. Lost some good loot in my game today because of it, and it peed me off. Try and fix it again after the 20 plus other times I've tried to fix it. Any ideas? Of course I have ideas. Of course I have ideas. When you lose connectivity for 20 seconds, take a picture. This is going to be interesting. Take a picture of the lights on the modem / router, or modem. Take a picture of modem / router. Then take take a picture of the lights on the modem/router, then reboot the device and take a picture of the lights after giving it 5 minutes to reboot. Are they the same? That's how we're going to do this one. I think that's a little different than what we normally say. But yeah, so basically we want to make sure that his issue isn't with his router or his modem losing connectivity with the internet service provider, because if it's losing connectivity with the internet service provider and then it gets back its connection with the internet service provider, you're going to notice it because the lights will be different. The lights won't match up. Once you reboot it and it comes back up and it reconnects, you'll notice because the pictures, the lights will be different. That's how you can tell. So once if that is the case, then you'll have to talk to your internet service provider, because obviously you're losing connectivity in the area. Then reboot the device and take pictures of the lights and give it 5 minutes to reboot. Are they the same? If they are, well, okay, we'll just go from there. Because here's the thing. If they're not, then you need to call your internet service provider. If they are the same, so you reboot it and the lights are the exact same as they were before, then we're talking about updating the router, we're talking firmwares, we're talking stuff like that. So you know, reboots and stuff. Well, okay, the reboot didn't do anything, but we were talking about updating firmware or wiping the router. We're talking about those kind of situations, or calling the internet service provider anyway, depending on if it's theirs or not. So that's what we would do for that situation. But this is a good option because I guarantee you nobody else said that. You should get onto your ISP about that. Sounds like some issue on their end. What do the modem logs show for WAN? Okay, so modem logs. Back to our picture. So let me go back, y'all. Modem logs from this guy here. Here's the thing about modem logs. You may not be able to get them. It depends on who they're from. So like, for example, if this is from the ISP, oops, sorry. If this is from the, come on, really? That's what we're doing today? You're not going to give me that? Okay, here we go. If this is from the ISP right here, then you may not be able to get the modem logs off of this guy. So typically the modem logs are accessed by going to the IP address of the actual modem itself. And generally when you do that, you have an option to get to the actual logs, or you can log into the device and it will actually show you the logs there. So it really kind of depends on if they have the permission or have the ability to log into the device. But if it's not theirs, they may not be able to do it. So it all really depends on the internet service provider. I've seen internet service providers that will give you full access to do everything you want to, as long as you don't reboot it. And then I've seen some that give you absolutely no access. And if you have an issue, they'll come out and fix it. So it really just kind of depends on the internet service provider he's dealing with. But yes, you can access modem logs, but I never mention it because it varies for every single company known to mankind. So because of that, you can't actually say that because you don't know how to get them for whatever device it is. It really just depends on the situation. So that's what I would say for him. I would say to go ahead and go for the reboot there, as well as taking pictures to make sure his lights don't change. But if they do, then he's going to have to do what they say, which is contact the ISP, which is, I had a feeling somebody's going to say that, because that's what this sounds like. It sounds like it may be an internet service provider issue. But the best way to prove that is to compare it by taking pictures. Alrighty, Hades, I hope that helped. We got through a lot of stuff. We got through Xbox and we got through some tech support issues. That was awesome. That was fun. This was a good day. Alrighty, guys, that is going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Okay, and if you like this video, go to the like button. If you really like it, go ahead and subscribe. I love you either way. Take care, all the best, and bye. I will see you tomorrow.